Good and are done.
When did that happen? Because he stayed in after that foul we thought was his fifth. Here's Mitchell. 13 seconds left in the state championship. Going left. Got the ball. Now he's going to dish it. Adams for the win. Got it. Oh, my goodness. Will Adams just became a legend.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Oh, what a dramatic moment that was at the VCU Siegel Center. One of 7 games that was decided by 7 points or less as the Northview Pilots outlasted the Green Run Stallions. Pretty fitting that those two played at Classic. They met in 2020 in the Region 5A Championship. They went to double overtime at the Norfolk Scope. Stallions won that one. Green Run won the undisputed state championship a year ago at the buzzer against Albemarle, and this time the basketball gods are with the Pilots, who prevail on that one from Will Adams. It is 757 Sports Talk here on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe with Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. Ed, we had some dramatic high school basketball state championship games at the VCU Siegel Center in Richmond that we will touch on in a bit. But on Selection Sunday, we know where we have to start, and that is with the brackets. Have you looked at yours? Are you ready for some college basketball? Because the madness of March, it's here. We just had the high school version of it, and there are some compelling games in front of us this week in college.
Well, I watched the selection show on CBS. Haven't really looked at it hard. Had a phone call after, so it took my attention away. But we'll see what we got going. I know you're going to bring it. It's excitement in the air now. Here it is, the official part of March Madness. We had the college tournaments. We had the high school stuff. So let's roll.
You tell me you haven't looked at the brackets? What are you doing? What world are you on? Get it together. You're a basketball guy.
All them on the selection show. I did see them. I've not studied them. I know you're deep into it. You've got Akron winning. You're thinking High Point could beat
You're right. Look at this. I've got all kinds of notes. I have the books. I have the cheat sheet.
Save your notes.
I can tell you how many times a 4 seed has beaten a 13 seed. I've got it broken in analytically. I have metrics. I have it all for you. What do you mean? What are you
doing metrics, here's your metrics right here. I don't need all that mess. There's going to be very few upsets, and upsets are higher seed beating lower seed. And 8, 9, yes, if 9 beats an 8, it's kind of an upset, but to me, they're kind of even. No 16 will win. Doubt any 15 will win. I'm not even sure if 14 will win.
Okay, there's the bracket, by the way. You have to squint to see it. So instead of doing that, let's do our first blush at this, which is, okay, the teams that were the last 4 in and the last 4 out, because where it always is the talk. And the top 4 seats, by the way. Last 4 in, last 4 out, and the bubble seats. There's the last 4 in. NC State, 36 in the net. Texas, SMU, Miami of Ohio. I'm not sure if you watched the Sunbelt Commissioner, Keith Gill, discuss this. Miami of Ohio was not the final team in the field. It was actually SMU. Oklahoma, Auburn, they're out from the SEC. San Diego State, which is just a few years removed from playing in the national championship game, they didn't make it out of the Mountain West. And Indiana, who lost at home to Northwestern late in the year. Auburn had a tough loss to Ole Miss, who's not been great this year under Chris Beard. They didn't get in. Last 4 in, last 4 out. I don't have a problem with this. I know Miami of Ohio losing to UMass and Frank Martin in the conference tournament. Some will say, look at their net. They didn't play anybody. But you know what? You go undefeated regular season, you're doing something. I think they belonged in and they got the first 4 game. Your take on that? Are you mad? Are you that guy screaming at the clouds that somebody got screwed here or have a problem with any particular seed? Some are angry that St. John's, the Big East regular season tournament champs, your buddy Rick Pitino, and you often have suits of his or he has suits of yours, didn't get a higher seed like a 4. Any problems that are anything bothering you right now?
Life is good. The only thing I would throw a knife at is
don't throw a knife. You'll hurt somebody. Don't do that.
Miami should not be playing in a playing game. I'm okay with it, but
why?
Should not be. A 31-win team should not be.
Why?
But they still have a chance to win it. 31 wins. Okay. Undefeated regular season. Yeah, not a good loss to UMass, but back in the day, that would have been a probably a 8 seed. But of course, we know. I don't want to keep going over this because I sound like a broken record, if I can still use that phrase. I'm for the little guys. I'm not for number 7 in the SEC, number 8 in the ACC, number 9 in the Big Ten, over number 2s and regular season number 1 who lost in their tournament of the little guys. So that's why I think Miami got screwed. Only other thing I would say there.
No, they got screwed. They've been out of the tournament. They didn't get screwed. I disagree. But go ahead.
Miami. I kind of was looking at, again, little boys, San Diego State over Texas getting in. But again, I can live with Texas.
Well, they're in the first 4. So NC State, their opponent, with your buddy Will Wade. Sorry about that. Whoops. That's fine. I meant to call him Will Wade. I didn't call him Will Shade. Sorry about that. So Michigan took an L against Purdue in the Big Ten tournament championship. That surprised some. Florida going down big against Vanderbilt. And how about Virginia? Hats off to Ryan Odom. 14 more wins, I think it is, than a season ago. They took Duke to the wire, which you, by the way, told me in the car coming out of the Siegel Center on Saturday night. You thought that was going to happen. They gave him a push. And
I had Virginia winning by 3, but they didn't.
But they have a big-time shot blocker in the middle, and they got some pieces. They're scoring at a high clip, so they're a trendy pick for folks, and we'll see if they get a compelling matchup with Native Mint, Tennessee in round 2. But those are your top 4 seeds, and we'll get your final 4 picks before the show concludes here on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. I do think if I had to look at the bracket closer, and I don't want to make you go through every round of 64 game because that would take way too long. And I mean way, 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 way too long to do. But
maybe we'll do a special later in the week or whenever.
Well, yeah, that's possible. But what I will tell you is if I have one round of 64 game that I like the most, and I'll give you a chance to zoom in on this if you like. My round of 64 game that I think is going to be the best of them all. There's 2 I like. VCU, North Carolina, really good. 6-11 matchup in that South bracket. There's no Caleb Wilson. We see what VCU has done here. 16 of the last 17, I think it is, with their scoring ability. I like the Santa Clara, Kentucky matchup. Santa Clara can shoot it. They're efficient. They have some bigs. But the one I like the most, Ed, is that USF, South Florida. I've been on them high. I've been on them hard. 12 straight wins. Isaiah Nelson. I like the Bulls of USF, and they're playing a team that's got a projected lottery pick if he's playing and healthy, and Mikael Brown, Louisville. That's the game to me that I think is the best round of 64 game. USF, Louisville. Don't miss that one. It's got buzzer beater potential.
Well, a long time ago, I said, watch out for Louisville in this year's tournament. I think it begins the season.
That was your final 4 pick. I have them going out in the first round. They're going to be adios amigo. Ed Young picked it. You got the kibosh.
They will beat South Florida probably by 4. Close game, like you're right. It won't be a buzzer beater. Excuse me, but it'll be close. I like your pick of South Florida, trendy pick, trying to take somebody of that nature.
How do you like it if you just said they're going to lose by 4?
Oh, they're going to. I mean, I like it for you, but you're not. You're going to be disappointed. Don't put any shekels on it because Louisville's going to beat them in the first round. Yes, you can. I would say 96% chance.
So, do you have a game that you would say is your number 1 game as opposed to that one?
I would have to again look at the whole brackets,
okay.
Bracket by bracket too, and I'd even type them up or whatever.
Okay. Well, we'll go through region by region later in the program for our internet audience on CoVA Sports TV. For those watching on the television side of things, you won't get to see that. But we'll go that and let Ed have his pick there. But there you have it.
I will say this, but let me say this. To go along with your pick, South Florida, I'm going to take a middle-of-the-pack team too. But already a million talking heads are picking them. I think Akron can knock down Kentucky.
I knew you would. Your buddy John Gross coaching, and that's why you took him. You like to coach with the veteran experience. He did it at Ohio. He's going to have the zips, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day, zipping on by to the next round.
I think Akron will be up for that. Gross does a good job of prepping. Not that Pope and Kentucky, but Kentucky been kind of on that roller coaster.
They play Santa Clara. Whoa. You already got your wrong matchup. Akron doesn't play Kentucky. Akron plays Texas Tech. Santa Clara plays Kentucky. Look at the bracket.
Gimme. I'm jumping guns. Too much high school basketball this weekend. Give me Akron over Texas Tech. Give me Santa Clara over Kentucky. My good buddy.
Okay, so you have both of them.
Good buddy Herb Sendek is the coach of Santa Clara, Pennsylvania, guy out of Pittsburgh. 5-star roommate for 2 different years.
Okay.
That they will come serious. And I've seen Santa Clara play twice this year. They won't take a back seat. They got size. They got shooting.
I just said that.
Yeah, I look Santa Clara and Akron as two of those mid-level teams to win that first round for sure.
I know your head's all over the place, but what scares me is you've got two of mine in my bracket already. So that makes me want to get off one of those two teams because I have them both advancing as well. Stick around.
Get off of Santa Clara. Help you out.
Stick around. We have more coming your way on this episode of 757 Sports Talk. You're watching with us on CoVA Sports TV. We'll go through the high school basketball championships when we come back right here. After this quick word from those that help make it possible. Stay tuned.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
At Rush Soccer, our love of the game and the community we create doesn't stop when we leave the pitch or when the season ends. We are more than an individual player, team, club, or league. We are a truly global community of athletes, parents, coaches, professionals, and fans. We believe that youth sports and the pathway to a lifelong love of soccer have the power to form deep, meaningful connections that will fundamentally shape our players and those in our community. We believe that what we feel is the key to what we can achieve. Feel the pride. Feel the confidence. Feel the legacy. Feel the connection. Feel the trust. Feel the acceptance. Feel the purpose. Feel the difference. Feel the rush.
At Atomic Wings, we prioritize real chicken with fresh, all-natural, never-frozen ingredients, all packed with serious flavor. Order from over 15 awesome flavors at atomicwings.com.
All right, here with Kevin Harris, head basketball coach of the Westfield Bulldogs. They get it done today over Lansdowne in the VHSL Classic State Championship, 48-44. Coach, your team coming in average almost 70 points per game. I know you pride yourself on defense, much like Dwight Robinson's Lansdowne Eagles, but did you envision this game would be played in the 40s today? It was a defensive rock fight at times, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was a defensive fight. We knew going in they were going to prepare well. Actually, a funny story. Last year when they played South Lakes in the semifinals, they did shoot around at Westfield. And I asked them if I could hang out in the gym, and I was just impressed with how they prepared, knew what they're going up against South Lakes. I knew that it was going to be that much more so today because of the championship.
Well, it's funny. I shared on the NFHS Network a little bit during our broadcast that I know you both, Coach Robinson and yourself, have sons that are in college in the ACC. He with one at Boston College, you with one at Duke. You both have younger sons on this basketball team now. It felt like this was going to happen at some point inevitably. Yeah. They ended up losing the Manchester Region Final. Their bracket's different. They beat Patriot. Your last two rounds, though, you played about as close to an A-plus game as you could. Did that have you confident or more concerned? Because sometimes in basketball, you don't always have that A game the next game.
It was confidence. Okay. As a coach, you always worry about, what's going to happen next. But I think that all goes away when you walk in the gym and these guys have high energy and, every practice they're getting better and they're asking questions and they're learning from the mistakes. I don't want to undersell the teams who played in the state tournament. They're great teams. They earned their way there. Yeah. Manchester had a great game plan against Lansdowne, won the regional championship. Edison is a young team, much like, Lansdowne. They're going to be good for a couple of years. So I don't want, everybody says, these teams don't belong in the state tournament. They did belong there.
Well, it's funny. I think your game with George Marshall in the region final, it was a low-scoring defensive game. Right. Probably helps you for this today, fair to say?
For sure. We had to grind that game out. They're another great defensive team, and Jerry runs some great stuff offensively over there for shooters and his big guy. I feel like, having that game under our belt in a championship setting helped us for tonight.
I know we had a couple of bigger scoring outputs technically, I think, against Centerville and Battlefield, but Will Robinson saved his best for last, didn't he?
Absolutely. And we've been telling Will for years that, as he goes, we go. We have other talented players for sure, but when you add him to the mix and he's rebounding, he's defending, blocking shots, he's attacking the basket, we're a very tough team to beat.
Yeah, this was a really neat game to watch and call. I think Coach Young and I mentioned there's probably of the starting 10, at least 8 guys that are probably college players, whether it be Division I, 2, or 3. And you got guys like Jamon Price, player of the year in the region, Isaiah Brown, Colin Stenberger is going to marry Washington, Malachi Matthias Lee. But for Robinson, he's intriguing. Tell me more about him. Does he have, in your eyes, good next level potential? Because he can shoot it too.
100%. He shoots the ball well. He scores it well. Yeah. Off the drive. He knows how to make the right pass. He defends at a high level. I think he averaged 3 steals this year. Yeah. I'm very impressed with his game at his age. He plays well beyond his years.
Yeah, I didn't ask him in the press conference. Didn't want to embarrass him, but I know he got the technical foul. He seemed to keep his head after that point. But for him to, in the fourth quarter and throughout the game, the paint, the rebound, the blocks, he does it at both ends. How much did you stress knowing what Lansdowne could do in terms of getting a run, that you had to finish it knowing that you've seen these championship games, you've been a part of them. Right. They can go haywire in a moment.
I just felt, I didn't want to overcoach. I want to be confident in my guys. Don't overreact to every little single play, but to make sure we stay true to our principles, defensive first, and offensively just taking time to get in a good shot, get the ball in the middle of their zone, and Will did a great job attacking from there.
Sure, last two for you. 29 straight wins. With the schedule you played, I know you lost to PVI early, but you played them in the past. What's that speak to? Because you know how good the basketball is in Class 6. And to stay locked in and focused, your guys spoke about that, Jamon and Will and Isaiah, about the maturity this group has had. The maturity your group has had from day one to now. It's been a big difference from the season ago, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And we did, our kids have been through it since last year, throughout the summer, the fall. They played, I think we went through our schedule, 5 or 6, the district champions, state championship finalists, throughout the summer, we played, wherever up. We played North Carolina, went to Florida, played a good team from Alabama. It's just getting our kids exposed to good basketball and preparing for this moment.
Yeah, beat that Hoover team you played, which was, I think, 3-time defending state champion. Alabama wasn't. That was a big deal. Lastly, I know it's fresh in your mind, so you'll have more time to think this over and kind of, recollect and get your thoughts together. But what will you kind of remember about this group here to get the state championship? You kind of picked all your long number one. There's some pressure to that, but you guys finished the mission.
Yeah, we tell our guys all the time, me personally, there's no pressure more than I put on myself. And that's what we try to let them know, we expect so much of them and they expect more of themselves, the pressure from the outside noise. We don't listen to that. But what I remember from this team is family. I mean, we have 2 sets of brothers. Obviously, my son's on the team. We got guys who grew up together. It's just a family atmosphere. Like, they're having fun right now and celebrating the locker room, but the bus ride back is going to be, I'm sure, loud and crazy. So I'm happy for them.
Well, go enjoy it. Congratulations.
Appreciate you.
Much.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
So you saw the celebration from Osborne Park and then in Westfield, and heard from Coach Kevin Harris of the Bulldogs, who defeated Lansdowne in the Class 6 state championship 48-44. There are the numbers from that game. The box score, as you see, it was not the typical floor game that Damian Robinson has had. It didn't have a field goal in the second half. Josiah Law battled foul trouble, which was a big deal for them. Rashad Shaw did have 15 points. He got hurt in the game but came back. And Westfield, other than William Robinson, nobody else really stood out in this game. Jamon Price, player of the year, he was handcuffed. Isaiah Brown, only 8 points. It got off to a really good start. Nobody played poorly in the first half. Then the second half, it became a total rock fight, as you heard. But 29 straight wins in the highest classification of Virginia, they earned it.
Yeah, Lansdowne, Damien, a little frustrated, got frustrated. But again, Westfield did a great job on it. Scouting report, played to a T. Lansdowne didn't have one of their better games. But you get to this game, I like to look at the opponent who beat you. It's not like, they didn't deserve to be here, or how they play soccer. They play so bad in a state championship game. Mm-hmm. No, that team did what it had to do to win. They targeted Dame, which is smart to do. Rashad Shaw got loose on some things, but, he can't do it himself. So, Westfield has had a great year, and it was their chance to get it, and they got it.
Well, and the thing that you mentioned, I know you love the utmost confidence that Dwight Robinson had in the post-game presser, that we will be back. Here's what he said. He has 4 starters returning. And, Westfield probably had a similar feeling last year when they lost to Doug Craig's C.G. Woodson team in the quarterfinals. They brought back all 5 starters. So it feels like going into next season, though Lansdowne fell short, that'll be the motivation and rallying cry for them to enter probably number 1. They were preseason number 2. I think both in the BCAP and Virginia Preps polls. So you expect them to be back there, don't you?
Yeah, I actually picked Lansdowne to win this game in a close one, pretty much the way it went.
And their press gave him a chance late, didn't it? It gave him a chance.
Yeah, it was right there. It was not a blowout, low scoring affair. Like I said, Westfield made the bigger play, especially Will Robinson. I think, Lansdowne, Alon Walker got a little bit of foul trouble. Lansdowne's big to match up against him, and Robinson won that battle, which I think tipped it in their advantage. But, yeah, I could see Lansdowne, big favorite, in 6 next year. You got to rank them 1 or 2. I think they'll be better. And Coach Robinson alluded to the fact that he had a couple other guys, I think, in the building that weren't maybe not eligible or didn't feel like playing this year, but can and will be back. So they'll be back. They'll be back.
And you know what? Westfield, I don't think they're going anywhere because Kevin Harris has a younger son. You heard about the sons there. Darren Harris played at Duke, ACC. I think he was the first youngster to retweet my tweet that they won the game. We know about Donald Hand Jr., Dwight's stepson at Boston College. You got Dame coming back at Lansdowne, so a neat little family connection there. But Westfield, he's now got 3 state titles, 2 at Centerville, 1 now at Westfield, and we'll see if he'll get another one at his time at Westfield. The girls' game before that, there was Osborne Park. Christy Kelly's Yellow Jackets repeated in Class 6. It was a pretty competitive game as Key Rainey. Oh, she's a good one, Ed. Key Rainey, heck of a talent for Osborne Park. 24 points, 6 rebounds, 11 of 14 from the floor. Rasheed Wright, who started Old Dominion. We know what he's about. And his squad getting to a 4th straight state championship. Just didn't have enough in terms of the outside shooting and rebounding. 5 threes. It was more than Osborne Park's, but got a rebound of 39-29, and they fall 48-42 in a heck of a ball game in Class 6, a rematch from last year. You don't see too many rematches. In fact, this was the only one here in 2026 that was a rematch from 2025.
Kara Rainey, not a dominating type player, but she dominated this game. 11-14. Now you look at the shooting use. That means the rest of the team was what? 6-4, 26.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a loss, but that's how good Rainey was. She was able to carry him and do some things, and got a few rebounds. Didn't get a lot of assists though. She did pass the ball. It's just teammates didn't hit shots, but she was big on that one. And again, Manchester, again, nothing to be ashamed of. It's a tremendous year. Some shots didn't fall when they needed them to, and Osborne Park made more of the bigger plays when needed.
And now you think Towson's getting a steal in her, don't you?
Yeah, I you know what? I think she has a chance to play quick as a freshman. If she went higher, she'd probably sit for a year and a half or 2 years, a little bit, because again, portal players rank over high school. Girls coming out of high school for girls, you have a better chance at D1 than boys at high school. So she's smooth, and the bright lights, big stage didn't bother her.
We are doing a Sunday night special here on CoVA Sports TV. You say, why are these guys talking to me on a Saturday night? On a Sunday night. It's not Saturday. It's 757 Saturday Sports Talk usually. Well, we are talking to you on a Sunday night because Ed and I were a part of the broadcast team for most all. We certainly were a part of the production and prep work, along with Mark Fout, Demetrius Means, Andy Hayes, of course, our great team that includes Helene Shane and Ricky Salazar and Tim Blank and Ryan DeGurdo on camera. Am I leaving anybody else? I think I nailed all of them, didn't I? Hey, everybody, right? It was involved. It's a collaborative effort. And
Zinni Zanu
was not a part of it. We had Hayes, Blank, Shane, Salazar, DeGurda, Means, Fout, Hatfield, and Young. It was those are new in that mixture. But
Zanu was around.
But
he was our security. He watched some people. We had a lot of people trying to want to get on camera and all this stuff.
Listen, people were wanting us to help get them in the building on Saturday night for Petersburg and Lake Taylor. And I got to listen, even college coaches. I can't say all who they are. You keep your mouth shut. You already said that on one of them on the broadcast. But folks, we value our credentials and we value our obligations. We can't just let people in for free. It doesn't work that way. So you have to pay them. And by the way, I don't want to hear people complain about, oh, it costs money. It's too expensive. Listen, people are spending money on things they shouldn't. To watch these games on NFHS Network, it is not that expensive. And it costs to go to games. Listen, anything you have in life, and this drives me nuts. I have a couple friends that are like this, by the way. They're friends. They say, well, I can't read your website or this website. It has a paywall. Folks, you don't get water for free. You don't get electricity for free. You don't get TV. Nothing in this world is free, except one thing is for free. I'm going to go grab it while you ponder what it is.
Well, while he's going on his rants for free, you all know me. If it's free, it's me. And I look for free water that's clean, obviously, tight. So I will get it. And thank God I have credential so I can get in the game, because if not, I'd probably sneak in too. So just letting you know that.
Okay, we are asking on CoVA Sports TV, since it is Selection Sunday, what upsets do you have in your college basketball bracket? Let us know. You got a 12. Our man Mark Ragsdale, who's watching on Twitter next. And again, I apologize, Mark. We love you out there. I can't get the X comments or the Instagram comments on our screen. Maybe the crew out there. I know, by the way, if anybody gets a perfect bracket, I'm going to also advertise we're going to do a bracket challenge. Wait until you hear what you're going to win. If you have a perfect bracket, ESPN gives you $1 million. Well, we're going to give you something at CoVA Sports TV that it'll blow your mind what you will get. I think in some respects, it could be better than $1 million if you get a perfect bracket. And it doesn't happen, but if you do it, if you study hard enough, anything is possible in this world. So if you put your mind to it, everybody, if you can believe, you can achieve. And this prize, like I said, I think it's better than $1 million. So that's coming up later in the show. Stick around. But we can't, unfortunately, get the Twitter/X comments or the IG comments. We can get the Facebook or the YouTube comments on the screen. So if you go to the CoVA Sports TV YouTube channel or our Facebook, we can get the comments on the screen for you, but we'll relay them. But Mark out there, our buddy from Chesapeake, did tell me that he likes one of the upsets we were talking about, and that one that he likes is, of course, High Point in the good old 12-5 matchup. So there you have it. But go ahead.
I don't have High Point winning.
Oh, we don't have that one? That was one I have. He must have saw my bracket I posted earlier. I got that one.
You have who's High Point playing again?
High Point is playing in the 5-12 game against Wisconsin, the Badgers.
No, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Oh no, I think Mark's onto something. I like that one. That's a good one in the West bracket. They're going to see John Calipari in round 2. They'll bow out to John Calipari, who's going to then see in the Sweet 16, most likely Arizona. And by the way Darius Acuff is playing, first guy in 30 years in the SEC to get 30 points and 10 dimes. I'm not putting it past the Razorbacks, SEC tournament champs, to get the job done. But we're asking you, let us know what upsets do you have in your bracket, who do you have winning it, and we'll tell you how you can play the free ESPN Bracket Challenge and join our group. We have a group up there on CoVA Sports TV. In fact, we'll just tell you now, you can go search it, CoVA Sports TV 757 Sports Talk. We'll have the invite link up, and you can join it and enter your picks and see if you're a winner chicken dinner. But I did say before I went on my little free rant that nothing in this world is free except one thing. And you know what that is as I unfurl it here. And I have a bone to pick with you, by the way, a bone. Look at this, folks. Mission 1974. You see that? Our turn now. The Petersburg Crimson Wave. See that? Our turn now. We got this. We were saying on the broadcast during the Hanley-Hampton game about Coach Young would like to get one of these T-shirts. Now, Michael Blackwell, the assistant for Ty White in the Crimson Wave, been with them, John Marshall, Team Loaded. He heard it, and he brought us the shirt. So big shout-out to Coach Blackwell. We appreciate him and many others for watching it. Now, I know when I looked at the tag for my shirt, it didn't say XL. I had a bigger size. So you did the old switcheroo before Hatfield could see it. Shame on you. Don't give me that look on your face. You did the switcheroo on your shirt.
Hold on.
Yes,
hold
you
on.
did. You think you're slick, you.
My shirt, if you remember, you handed me a shirt. I put it on the table in front of me, right by the monitor. Pretty much left it there the whole time. Even when we went to the interview room. So you had yours. Did you put yours on the table?
I had mine under the chair, under my chair or by my chair. You did the little switcheroo. Don't play innocent here, mister. I haven't stolen anything.
I'm trying to tell you.
It's my candy bar at 7-Eleven at age 7.
Tell you. I got the shirt from you, folded it, put it on the table, let it go. I didn't even look at it the rest of the game. Now, there were people walking by. Hey, so you got a shirt? Yeah, here, look at it. So people look at it. Now, when we left, I don't know if people mess with the shirt. Remember, cleaning crews coming by, whatever. I don't know. I do know I have my shirt here somewhere. Pretty sure I did bring it home. So I have no idea on the size situation.
Yeah. Next time I get something free and it's clothing, I'm going to take my little pin here.
Well, what size is that?
It's an XL. I mean, I can wear XL. I can squeeze into it. What's that?
You're not going to squeeze into it. You'll fit it. I know I can't fix it, XL. I'm glad I don't have
That's why you switched it. I know you. You're sneaky. Ladies and gents, hit the comment box if you believe Coach Young did or didn't switch it. Let us know. We know you're with me on this, that he did switch it innocently or accidentally or purposely, which is what I'm saying. You switched it. You definitely switched it.
I put it on the table, left it be.
Stop. Don't tell
because I had
Pinocchio.
other things to do.
Your nose is going to grow, Pinocchio. Your nose is going to grow.
I like I said, I have no idea. Why would I switch the shirts?
Because you want the shirt that's bigger to fit you. I know it. That's fine. You should just honestly said, Matt, hey, can we switch? You can fit the XL better than what was it, a 2 or a 3? I don't know. I know it wasn't an X. Dude, man, there you see, you know it. Wait a second. You just let it out there. You let the world know.
I just said, is it a 2X? You said yes. There it is. X.
Oh, Alfred, I'm ashamed of you, Alfred. You took Ed's side, Alfred.
Good job, Alfred. I appreciate that and that's an unbiased person right there, 100%.
Yeah. So, Alfred, I'm ashamed. I thought you'd be on my side. Well, since you heard from Alfred and he says he's with Ed, Ed, we just teased that game, and we can go through that game now or later. But we know who the head basketball coach of the Petersburg Crimson Wave is.
The one and the only, Ty, it's our time, White.
And they were able to get it done over the Lake Taylor Titans. And real quickly, before we get to that, I want to let the audience know, for our Lake Taylor friends out there, this was not anything against anti-Lake Taylor. We still have mad love for you guys. Really good year for Derek Yogi Edwards and his team, which battled. But like I said, and this is to my 7x7 guys, if you offer us a T-shirt, we'll wear it. We'll definitely hold it up with a camera. We just haven't gotten much free swag from. And listen, Ed's in a 7.57, and he coaches at Smithfield. I don't have any Smithfield gear at all. You haven't given me a thing from Smithfield. So,
I just
who are you
got
on
this.
you?
I had to pay for this shirt.
Oh, you didn't pay for it.
I worked for Tough
Now,
AD.
your AD's a good fella, and Pat Doolan. He'd probably give me something free before you would. I'll tell you that.
Well, you'll be getting it free before me.
I'll be getting it free from him before you.
And let me echo this too. I don't even want to entertain somebody saying, "Oh, you wanted Petersburg." I said it out loud, and I said it to people's face.
You did.
I said it to Ty's face. I said it to Zach Carroll and Hanley. I want the 7.57.
He did.
Now, I didn't pick Lake Taylor over Petersburg like I picked Hampton over Hanley. Yeah. But I wanted Lake Taylor to win. I'm a 7.57 diehard, period. So I'm not even going to entertain anybody's thoughts of thinking of, oh, we want Petersburg. We're friends with a lot of coaches. I know a lot of people too. So that's how it goes. I wanted Hampton. I'm glad for Zach Carroll. We've gotten to know each other over the past year. We're on executive BCAS board, so we do some talking. Agreed. I did not tell him anything about Hampton, what they do.
Correct.
I wouldn't even know how to beat Hampton. I couldn't beat Hampton. So if any of that festers anywhere, please don't let me start cussing and saying bad things to people, because I'm a pretty calm person. I'm like that.
You don't need to cuss.
I'm a 7.57 guy all the way. Now, my issue was Green Run, Norview, Menchville, PA, because they're all 7.57s. So that would be the only time somebody's going to say, well, who do you want now?
No, I understand that. No, listen, you're being honest in that regard. You're not being honest in the whole shirt situation. We're going to get to that Ty White interview.
Let the shirt thing go. We're wasting time.
I was just, that was the last comment on. No, you're fine. And by the way, there you are with Rick Foster, Norview. You guys coached together at I should say together. He coached at Norview in the late 80s and the early 90s, and he is obviously there now at Norview now, so you were happy for him. But listen, it's nothing against them. But if they give us something free, we're going to wear it. That's how it is. My only issue, I don't care who wins. I'm not biased like you are to a 7.57, even living at 7.57. All I care about is that I get food and good stuff in the hospital room, which is great. And by the way, they ran out in that first set of games, so I was in trouble. And I'm blaming you for not monitoring it the way you should. Shame, Coach.
Let me just say this about hospitality room, media room. Y'all did a good job, VCU. Another good situation, VHSL. But I tell you what, some of them dudes, that first day when they had, it was baked chicken and lasagna. Woo! If I put my arm out for too long, they would have ate it. It was some dudes in there, put it away. I swear to God, they ain't ate in days, and it was crazy. So I made second team all hospitality, tried to get first team, but there's a couple things I didn't want to eat. Hey, you know what we missed? Well, I know I missed it. The chicken and waffles. I missed the chicken and waffles.
I missed that too. But the chicken cordon bleu on Saturday was magnifique. It was very good.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. I didn't mind that. But I tell you what, man, there's some of them dudes in there. I felt like a running back trying to get past the two inside guys for the LA Rams. That's what I felt like. Because I got an elbow here, a turnaround there, and then somebody chop blocked me as I reached out to grab a piece of cordon bleu. It was crazy in that place.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, first time since 1972, it's their time now. The Petersburg Crimson Wave on top in Virginia high school basketball.
Okay, here with Petersburg head basketball coach Ty White. His team wins it. The Crimson Wave are state champions for the first time in 52 years, 56-35. Coach, you've won some of these things at John Marshall, but you get hired in April at your alma mater, and I know that was the mission to win this. But my first question for you is, did this whole thing play out in year one the way you envisioned it?
I'm so grateful for our city. To represent and lead our city to a state title, year one is amazing. To know the passion and the hunger for the city and the sacrifices they make and the love they have for us as a team, It's so rewarding to fulfill the night with the state title.
We mentioned on the broadcast on NFHS Network that the thing that just jumps out about your team, and I think it gets lost in the shuffle, is just how disciplined a brand of basketball you all play. Where does that come from? I know you're not going to take credit for it all, but you're a part of it.
We have an unbelievable coaching staff who prepare these young men for the moments. We have a staff who works religiously and hard to make sure these guys are ready for everything. We knew it was going to be a dogfight. Coach Yogi, he does an unbelievable job, and those kids are a reflection of him too. He's going to have his guys prepared to play every single time, and they ain't going nowhere. We ain't going anywhere, so you'll see this for a while.
Well, you know this from all your years, even beyond the high school ranks of playing 7-5-7 teams, AAU with Team Loader against Boo Williams, that the 7-5-7 and 804, they don't run from each other, if you will. They're always competitive with that. But we'll get to Latrell Allman and his story, which is historic in a moment. But I think the player of the game tonight was Kelvin Papa Anderson. My gracious, this was his coming out party on a big stage, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I'm so happy for him. If you know how hard he works, how much time he puts in the gym, just working on his game. I'm just happy that he had a moment and an opportunity to play well all playoffs too. So I'm super happy for him.
What do you like most about his game? Because I feel like he's just scratching the surface of his potential.
Absolutely. His shot making ability, his toughness on defense. If you notice, he guarded 24 tonight too, and he calls charges on both sides of the ball. He was locked in. He was so focused.
Darius missed a few games, but 12 rebounds tonight. He and Latrell work so well in tandem together, don't they?
They have a great connection, big to big. It's elite in high school basketball. Not many teams have that size, so we were extremely grateful to have that.
What's it been like for you to coach Latrell Allman these past 4 years? I mean, he caps off the career the way any high school kid can dream. 4 for 4 state champions, a McDonald's All-American, Oklahoma State. What else can you say, right?
And I'm so happy for that young man. Again, that's one of those kids who work every morning, 6 a.m. He's begging to get in the gym, and he has people who make sacrifices to make sure that he gets to everything and do what he needs to do. I'm proud of him. He's earned his moments. He's earned his opportunity to represent public school basketball. Yeah. For public school basketball to have a McDonald's All-American in this climate, it's unreal and shouldn't be taken lightly.
When I loved his answer when he was asked about his legacy, it says it's up to him to decide. Other people will say, but from your perspective, what kind of is his legacy from coaching these last 4 years, high school, AAU, and I know there's a lot more great basketball for him ahead.
So, to be honest with you, he's still writing his own story right now. And the story that the chapters that he's done is unbelievable. It's storybook ending. I mean, you win 4 state titles. You're McDonald's All-American. You everything. You know what I mean? So, I'm happy for him, though. But he put in work, and his development from 9th grade year to now is unbelievable. And a lot of coaches who poured into him. Coach Sonny Ward, who helped train him for a long time. Coach Matt Irvin this year. Coach Duvon Maxwell, those guys who poured into him, Coach Blackwell, those guys Coach Shane Burnett, those guys who had a hand in this thing is unreal.
Well, and we'll have lots of time in the weeks and months and years to come to highlight what players you got in Cam Claiborne and King Bacon. I know that's what keeps you excited to do this thing, and you did. I felt like all you could do at John Marshall. You come back to your home in Petersburg. I want to know. And I thought about the late, great Terry Sasiski today. You see Duvon Maxwell. You were an assistant coach with the heartbreak in a state championship game. To see all the people that came out, to sell this building out the night before the game even starts. I mean, you had to get some chills at some point in this game, didn't you?
A surreal feeling, to be honest with you. As a coach, we didn't get it done. As a player, I didn't get it done. We lost in the state semis as a player. So to come back as a coach and lead these group of men, young men, it's just an unreal feeling. And I'm just so grateful. God is just so faithful.
Mm-hmm. Lastly, and you know the stories about the 16 state tournament trips in '79 and losing 4 of them on the last shot of the tough heartbreak, but you win the championship. Now it's the Excel. You get that checked off. For you and the way you're wired, this is just the beginning in chapter 1 of your story here at Petersburg, because you talked about it when you got to John Marshall. You talked about when you get to Petersburg, you want to make this thing a national entity, don't you?
Absolutely. And it's our turn now, and I mean that humbly. I mean that because for so long we could see other people doing some successful stuff, but now it's our turn in our city to do some unbelievable things. Academics are picking up. We're fully accredited in school. Football is taking it to a new height. We win 9 games in year 1 of Coach Mathis. That's just an exciting time for the city of Petersburg.
They're riding the wave of momentum. Congratulations to the state championship.
All right, so that was Tytrell White, head basketball coach of the Petersburg Crimson Wave, 56-35 over the Lake Taylor Titans. It is 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. And the coach, Ed Young, will rejoin me here in just a moment when he's done eating the piece of pie, wherever he went to go get a snack, a beverage, whatever it is. But one thing that I will say, since I was going to get his permission to say it before he chimed in with some analysis and thoughts with statistics from this game, as we'll show them to you on the screen here and zoom in on the numbers from this game where the Crimson Wave ended up with a great game from Kelvin Anderson Jr., who played at Catholic High in Virginia Beach last year with 19 points. And Coach Young is now back with us after he finished eating his piece of pie and his chips and his soda there. And Ed, I was going to get your permission, but I'm going to say it anyway before. I just want to give one little statement here on this because I've read some of the social media commentary and the reaction from this game. And first of all, this is for the Lake Taylor fans and 757 basketball fans, first and foremost. You all should celebrate what your team has done this year. You had a really fine team. You got to the state championship, went on the road, beat Skyline, beat Liberty Christian. And I know you're salty about Petersburg because they do have a machine and Division I players on the roster. And you're maybe a little bit bitter and upset. They've got an all-star team. They got transfers in. Well, first and foremost, number one, they're not the only team in the state of Virginia with transfers. Number two, it doesn't mean that Petersburg just rolls the ball out there and doesn't work hard. And they do, and they are disciplined. And number three, if you have a problem with it, go beat them. Go beat them, go outwork them, and go assemble a team that can go match them. I know that sounds, oh my gosh, that's a controversial take. What is he saying? But I'm tired of it. We want to act like they don't do anything. Listen, Petersburg hadn't won in 52 years, and they've had some talented teams, and they should celebrate it. But I'm sick and tired and sick of reading all these comments and negativity. Give it a break. These are high school age kids. And Alman's special. He's got a chance to play in the pros one day. Ladarius Javon, 12 rebounds. King Baycott, really good freshman. And Anderson had his coming out party. And to me, I give Coach Yogi and his players, especially his nephew, Jamari Edwards, very classy in the postgame presser, a lot of credit. They battled. They gave it their all. Petersburg was just better. So there you go. I said my piece. You go ahead and say your piece and any reaction to what Coach White had to say there.
You did it in a calm manner. And by the way, I think Matt's talking about fans because Coach Edwards, players, they're very gracious, very humble in defeat. We were in the press room. He complimented Petersburg.
Listen, he gave everybody a handshake to his credit. After what happened a couple years ago, it was not a great look for Lake Taylor. Let's just be honest here. I thought they conducted themselves much better, and they showed that they're a program that's consistent 6 times in 11 years. It's a job well done. Petersburg was just better, and they're better than most everybody in Virginia right now.
It's tall task, and I mean that figuratively as well as literally with Lake Taylor to go against those bigs. They handled themselves well. They deserve to be in that game. There's not much more they could have done than as to what they did do. Petersburg is a machine, and I was on the bandwagon about illegal people and this and that. Still am. But you know what? I'm not giving energy to it anymore. If VHSL says it's okay,
right?
Who am I?
Right. So listen, and we've had situations in the state. Obviously, there was a situation we'll get to at Manor Girls, Hatfield football a couple years ago. If there's anything that's wrong, point it out and trust me, there would be evidence, right? So this has been for 6-7 years prior to Petersburg. They look, you don't, to me, and this is going to take another controversial statement. You don't break rules you don't keep robbing banks or do stuff and get away with it. So again, what they're doing is above board from the standpoint of nothing has happened that would be penalizing to them. So I'm tired of it. Grow up, folks. This is not the players and coaches, by the way. This is the fans. Grow up.
They're
good and go beat them.
And really, my attitude towards the social media stuff and whatever, it is 99% time it's fans, and they're going to continue. And whether you hoot and holler, stand on the soapbox, whatever, it is who they are. It is what they are. I don't engage because I don't step down and argue. I only argue if I'm wrong. I'm going to convince somebody I'm right. So Lake Taylor, you did a great job. You had a great season. You will be back. You have a program, not just a good team. And Petersburg is going to be the epitome of what you got to beat in 3A for the rest of while Ty is there and maybe beyond. So standard has been set. So that's what you got to do.
And the one thing I can brag on is I had on my predictions on Virginia Preps, the region championship, Petersburg by 13 over Lake Taylor. They won by 13 exactly. And I had Petersburg by 21 in this game, and they won by 21 exactly. Now, my score was picked a lot higher, 72-51 than the 56-35 margin. But two quick things before we turn the page and move on from this game. Quick thoughts. Number one, Allman, 4 titles in 4 years. You said on the broadcast you think he's NBA. Tell us why. And 2, you can start with 2, I think, before 1. The point guard who's coming back for Lake Taylor. They say goodbye to Jakari Jones and Jamari Edwards, but Shaquante Jr. Evans, it wasn't a glossy game for him. You see the numbers, 11 points, though. He had the 3 turnovers in the first quarter, 1 assist. You heard what Jamari said about him, the things he has to get better at, get that dog in him, which I actually appreciate hearing him say. But this kid, I think, is the most poised freshman PG in the Eastern District since Matt Coleman, and he was a heck of a player. What's your thoughts? Because he can be a good one that we're talking about for years to come.
Well, I'm going to go a step further. I think he's one of the most poised freshmen in the Eastern region of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And, he got a little rattled in this game, but Petersburg will do that to you.
But he settled down. Only 1 turnover after the first quarter. He had 3 in the first. After that, only 1 in the last 3 quarters. That was improvement, right?
Exactly. He's going to get better. He can't get worse. He'll continue to work. Coach Yogi will make sure of that. And this was all gravy for him. This will be a great learning experience out of that. And again, he went against Petersburg. Boy, they make it hard for everybody. They got a tremendous freshman point guard who doesn't play nothing like a freshman. Baycott on the other side, King Baycott. So he'll take it and use it the right way. And as long as he's got those people beside him, can't do it all by yourself. He'll be there. Allman, remember him as a freshman. Pudgy, big, a little bit the baby fat. He's worked that out. He's got great hands, very good footwork, good IQ for a big man inside. Sometimes a big man just catch and stuff it. He does more than that. It's great spin action. Uses the board. And he's mobile. He's a big man who's mobile. He's got to work on the outside shooting game and put down on that. And he will, because he has done this. And talking to Ty, he is a kid that does this without much push to do it. And yes, I just think he'll get a little bigger, a little stronger. Let's pray to God, no injuries. I think he's an NBA potential. I really do.
It definitely was a great pickup for the Cowboys of Oklahoma State there in Stillwater. I know assistant coach James Miller, who's recruited the Commonwealth for many, many years, from junior college days as a coach to assistant D1 coach. And he was a big influence in getting him to OSU. We'll take a timeout. We got more coming your way. We'll go through the Class 5 action that saw Norview boys and PA girls win thrillers on Thursday night. The Class 1 and Class 2 action from Friday, which included, in my opinion, the best game of the tournament. Let us know what game you had enjoyment of most in the state tournament, and also let us know what player or team impressed you the most during the state tournament and the rest of the action from Saturday, which included a surprise in Class 4. Ed didn't see it coming. And does he still think they're the best team in a 7-5-7? Plus, around the corner, to close out the show, we'll give you our final 4 picks as Ed will finally get in front of a bracket and see who he's got, scratch it out 3 times, change it 2 more, and then tell you his final 4.
Rub it down, oh my.
There you go. It's all coming your way on 757 Sports Talk. After this quick timeout, you're watching CoVA Sports TV.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
CoVA Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
It's 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and the one and only Coach Ed Young, every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on CoVA Sports TV. From high school football and basketball to the NFL, MLB, college sports, and the NBA, if it's making headlines, they are breaking it down. Bold takes, big-time guests, and a few laughs, especially at the expense of that basketball coach Ed Young. Catch it on Cox TV and your view, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube at CoVA Sports TV.
In it comes. Ojo's just going to stand with it. And that's it. The fourth in a row by the Cavaliers. And maybe none of them tougher earned than this one over a very game and determined Menchville Monarchs team.
Yeah, Menchville had an opportunity.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
You are an evil basketball coach. We welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. You know who's not evil? Except for those that play him. They say, gosh, he's evil. We just can't beat him. Stomp their feet, scream and yell. He just is the best. He wins every time. Even when his team is down by 6 with 2 minutes and 23 seconds to go. It's Darnell Dozier, who improved his record to 793 and 59 overall with his 16th state championship ring, Ed. You can't get all those rings on 2 hands or 3 hands. You need a 4th hand. You can't even get them all on. Well, you can probably put them on 2 hands, a foot, and then you work on the 4th foot. But
he doesn't have 4 feet. You said work on the 4th foot?
No, the 3rd hand or foot is what I mean. So it'd be your 1st foot and then your 2nd foot.
There is no such thing as 3rd hand or foot. There's 2 hands and there's 2 feet. Now, let me help you. He has 10 rings for his hands, his fingers and thumbs. That's 10. And then he's going to use 4 toes of 1 foot for the 4th other 4 to make 14.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
This is what I got to put up. Lynn Burke, all you people out there, Mark Fott, I was telling Demetrius Means, everybody out there. I'm okay. I'm all right. Okay. Thank God I ain't got 3 arms, 3 hands. I got 3 feet, foot, whatever that is. I'm glad I don't have it. I don't want to be considered an alien.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought this right here, it was close to, I know the game you're going to pick for most best game, and I know what player you're going to pick probably for most exciting. I think they're in the same game. But this one here, intrigued because both very, very, very good teams, well coached, guys that win a lot. Nobody wins like Darnell Dozier. But had to go to overtime. There was a little bit of time in this game. I thought, PA, I don't think you can do it. Not that you're not good enough. Nashville's a little better. And boom, they go to another level. And Ojo, oh my God, what a player. What a player. She will not be denied, period, and gets done what needs to be done. Just tremendous. So this was one of the, if it's not the best game in the tournament, I think it ranks at least 2nd.
Well, okay. You said you know what game I'm picking as the best game and best player. I don't think they're the same game and same player, or a player in the same game. And I'm not going to confuse the player in games with my hands and my feet. As I was all over the place with that. But I do think the best player was Micah Ojo. And I know who you thought I was going to say is the best player. And he might have been the best and most impressive boys player. But Micah Ojo is maybe the best player in the country in her class. Maybe. And put it this way. If there's a better one in the class of 2027, I haven't seen him or her. Because 6 seconds into this game, you know I said this to you. She blocked a shot, and I was like, oh my gosh. As Frank Barone would say, and Everybody Loves Raymond, the late, great Peter Boyle, holy crap. That's what pretty much it was. You know what I'm saying? That's how impressive she was. And then to start the overtime, she goes, boom, right to it. Remember, she got hurt in this game. And we sat there and said, uh-oh, they're in trouble. And, not every team that lost played well or impressed us or can walk with their heads out high with how they play. They can walk with heads out high with their season, because as you well know, coaching this game for 30 plus years with your expertise and your success and what goes into it, you have to do a lot of hard work, and getting to this point should be celebrated across the board, no matter what. But Menchville, real quickly, they really, I thought, outplayed PA for every minute until about that 2-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Maddie Elise didn't have a great game. She's going to JMU. We know how terrific she is, but she had a subpar game for her. But Nevaeh Reed, Amen Bird, you see Henson, you see Rhodes, the contributions across the board they got were enough to win this game. They hit free throws, Ed. They didn't turn it over 25 times. They did a lot of things right. Almost out-rebounded PA, 43-42. But in the end, what was the difference? It was Micah Ojo. And then she gets in the press conference. I didn't hear all of it. And she gives credit to her teammates. That's how a humble star who gets it realizes it, because she knows if it's not for Amani Olds making a play here, or Maya Landale making free throws there, or Giselle James, Tristan Rickenbacker doing what they do, they're not there to win this thing. Alana Olds off the bench. But Micah Ojo, spectacular. She's the best player in this thing by far, and they don't win this game without her. In fact, her 3 to cut it from 5-2 is why they won the game. Doesn't make that shot, they don't win. Menchville gets her second championship. She, to me, was the difference, and she's often the difference. And every time she takes the court, probably going to be the difference.
Worth the price of admission. Very, as you say, extremely, very, very, very good. I'm leaving her with the class with the girls. I'm not going to compare with the top boys in the country, but she is a joy to watch. She's a talented player who works hard. I've seen talented players ranked who didn't work hard. They got by a lot on talent. And I've seen guys that work hard have some talent, just not ranked. They're just not that good. They work hard. She has combination. And for Menchville, what happened? They missed some key shots when they needed them. They had the lead, and it was a situation of Princess Anne able to turn it up another level. That's really what it comes down to. Menchville scores, was 35 points in the second half. 35 points. Pretty much you're going to win a game. But and PA only had 26. But PA did enough towards the end of that quarter to tie it. We have to go into overtime. And the big thing that you won't see in the stats is Micah did a great job of changing shots, making people decide where is she, and get rid of the ball instead of take the shot. Probably 4 or 5 times, especially in that fourth quarter overtime. And that's a big difference in that game too. And I'm going to say it again, like I've been saying in this show all show long. Menchville has nothing to be sorry of, regretful. Should I have done this? Should have done this? Had a tremendous year. They ran into Princess Anne. That's what it is.
How about her stats, though, Ed? In 3 state championship games, she has now scored, you ready for this? She has now scored 31, 25, and 17 in 3 state championship games, 12 of 16, 11 of 16, 8 of 14. She's had 9 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 15 rebounds. And most impressively, she's had 8, 6, and 4 blocks. She's had 18 blocks in 3 state championship games. I mean, her defensive prowess is what sets her apart. And that to me was the best game on the girls' side. Second best overall, Micah Ojo, best player, girls or boys' side, in my opinion, overall. And that game had 7 ties, 11 lead changes. It lived up to the hype and then some. So, heck of a performance in PA. The other thing here on this game is we get ready to move to the Norview Green Run boys game in Class 5, Ed. A lot of whispers, a lot of rumors. We don't want to say yay or nay. We want to hear it from the horse's mouth himself, and I'm sure he will come out soon and let people know if he is indeed going to hang it up or come back. But there's been a lot of whispers that this was it for the man at the helm for Princess Anne. I'll tell you what, Darnell Dozier, what he's done, if it is or isn't, that's for him to decide. I'll just say this. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest to do it, whether it is or isn't. Why are you shaking your head? I'm just saying that's.
I'm saying I hope it's not true.
Okay.
Because we also heard some talk. You know, states you hear a lot of stuff, a lot of people talking in the corners and out loud that there's a possibility of Micah may be going elsewhere next year.
but those are decisions for them to make. That's not for us to make or fans to say, and it's nobody else should have any influence on that. But what I'm saying is, if it was, what a way to go out, right?
Oh, undefeated and what, 14th title?
Yeah.
I mean the state, not only the state tournament, but the state championship game is on his schedule every year.
Yeah.
How many of us in the coaching business can do that? We like to think as a motivator, let's put that down. But he puts it down, and it means, oh, yeah, we're going to be in that game. That's kind of what it's all about. And, I wish the best for Darnell. I hope he stays in. Speculation we don't want to run wild with.
Well, real quickly, I misspoke for a second, because when I say the last VHSL game for Darnell Dozier, that's what the rumor is, because it is not by any means the last game that he's going to coach. And the reason I say that, for those that are unaware, as I'll put it up on the screen now, we were looking for the graphic a couple weeks ago. We didn't have it. We now have it. His team has been invited to compete in the Throne coming up March 19th through the 21st in New Jersey. You can find information about tickets if you want to go support Darnell Dozier, Tristan Rickenbacker, Micah Ojo, Lady Cavs up in New Jersey. They competed in this event last year. It was on NBA TV last year, and I watched it. It was really good. They lost, I think, in overtime that first game. But they're going to be competing in a national tournament, which, as he talked about on last week's show, is so rare for high school teams in Virginia public school to get this opportunity. So he's going to have a chance here to compete in this national tournament. And I know going in this national tournament as a state champion is a lot better than a runner-up, isn't it?
Oh, it puts more eyes on you. It makes you the hunted now when they go to events like this. And, I'm sure they'll be matched up with somebody else who's a powerhouse, whether it be public or private school. And they'll probably have Division 1 or 2, 3 Division 1 girls on that squad. So hats off to them. Congrats on that situation, to be able to play in something that prestigious. I know that gives them another week worth of practice, and they got to deal with Darnell again. But things go pretty smooth when they do things. They do a lot of things right. So should be a really good week for them.
So if you're wondering why we don't have any sound, we had Darnell on the show last week, but we're going to effort getting him on after this tournament, and perhaps hear from Micah Ojo, Rickenbacker, and them after they compete in this, because they could end up winning it. So you'll get some more sound for that. And plus, we were also, with a lot of the girls' games, we have to get right back into the fire with the boys' games. We don't have that break like we do after the boys' games to get some post-game sound. So we do apologize on that front. But we do have an interview with the victorious head basketball coach, the Class 5 state champions, and his standout player, Ed. What a performance it was for the Norview Pilots as they outlasted the Green Run Stallions in some doozy of a game in Class 5. And which one would you like to hear first? Would you like to hear from Will Adams or Ricardo Foster first?
Ricardo's older. He's going to have to wait. Let's go with Will the Thrill Adams, who hit that shot. Let's go with him, and then Ricardo can go ahead and clean it all up.
Well, if you missed it, we'll show it to you again, as well as the trophy presentation right here. And it's courtesy of the NFHS Network. You're watching 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports.
Gooden are done. When did that happen? Because he stayed in after that foul we thought was his fifth. Here's Mitchell. 13 seconds left in the state championship. Going left. Got the ball. Now he's going to dish it. Adams for the win. Got it. Oh, my goodness. Will Adams just became a legend.
All right, here with Norview guard Will Adams, senior, on his final high school game. He's the hero, 58-55, the defeat Green Run in the state championship. Will, when you woke up this morning, did you think you'd be shooting the last shot to win a state championship for your team to cap your high school career? You couldn't have dreamed it any better, could you?
Nah, but I would have never expected, but I'm glad the game was in my hands, and I got the opportunity to shoot that shot, and I shot it with confidence. So and we came out with a win, so I feel good right now.
We spoke back in January. Obviously, teams that play your squad, keying on the cousins, Zamaria Mitchell and Keon Fats Mitchell, player of the year for your team in the region and probably the state here. Mm-hmm. You had that big overtime against Lake Taylor. How much in pressurized moments do you know teams are going to leave you open? They're going to concentrate on them, and that's your chance to shine potentially.
Yeah, for sure. And they're going to find me almost every possession. If they don't find me, if they get doubled, they leave me open, I'm gonna hit the big shot. I'm gonna step up and hit my shot.
And you really don't mind your role, whether it's starting or coming off the bench for this team, do you?
No, sir. No, sir. My role is I play defense, hit open shots, and I get steals. So and Zamarion and Keon Mitchell, they help out a lot, like scoring. So when they start doubling them, you just hit me for the open shot.
Yeah, it's funny because on the broadcast we mentioned that, you and KJ Willie for Green Run, two of the smallest guys on the floor, making some of the biggest plays in this game.
Yes,
and it's
sir.
not the size of the fight, it's the size of the fight and the dog, if you will. But
yes, sir.
Tell me about you're down 8 in the third quarter. How did Coach Foster and your coaches keep your heads? Because things were looking like it might slip away, but you stayed in it and you had to resolve in the end.
Yeah, we just had to keep our confidence up and stay locked in and what we were doing. So we just had to,
You'd have done that way, absolutely. Come on, let's run here. The play where you're down the point, I think it was, or tied, I forget, at about 43 seconds, stole my Zamarion.
Yes, sir.
Throws it up the edge for your layup. How much did you feel like, all right, we now have the lead, we can get this and finish it off? How much was that just a huge boost and you got behind the crowd?
That was a big boost, actually. That gave us our momentum, and we just built off that, and I knew if I had the opportunity, then I was going to pull it off.
What's going through your mind as the time is ticking down? It's tied, so it's not like you're playing from behind, and if you miss a shot, you could lose. But as they concentrate on the driver and it gets your way, what's going through your mind? Just be ready to catch and fire?
Yeah, I knew the ball was coming. I already knew the ball was coming, and once the ball came, I really took my time and focused on my shot. So and it fell. So I'm very proud of that moment right now.
Lastly, what are you going to remember about your high school career at Norview? I know we brought up that 6 years ago, Norview and Green Run shared a state championship after COVID.
Yes,
Green Run won the championship last year on a buzzer beater. You guys won it on basically what was a buzzer beater. This was a nip and tuck battle. In the last few years in your high school career, you've been close to knocking on the door in states. What are you going to remember about this ride here with your team? I think you won your last 14 games. This was probably a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a lot of fun, man. I love this team that I played with this year. We was all locked in. We all had team chemistry. So I'll say this is the biggest moment in my high school career.
Well,
I never would have expected.
Yeah, well, the senior guard who wears number 2 for the Norview Pods, he's number 1 tonight. His team number 1 in Class 5 state champion, Will Adams. Thank you so much. Go enjoy it. Celebrate.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'm here with Norview head basketball coach Ricardo Foster. Congratulations, your team state champions, undisputed 58-55 in a thriller against the Green Run Stallions. Coach, it's pretty fitting that you remember this 6 years ago. You had to share the state title. You didn't get a chance to play Coach Harris and the Stallions here at VCU. They win the championship on a buzzer beater last year, and tonight you're down 8. You rally back. And how about Will Adams, the unsung hero, with the go-ahead 3 to win it in a back-and-forth classic with Green Run? It's pretty fitting, isn't it?
Fitting, definitely, man. Quick story, man. Will was probably the size of Scrappy Doo when I met him in the 8th grade. I met Will in the 8th grade. I seen him in the 8th grade middle school championship, man. He was playing like a madman out there, running all over the place, just the smallest guy, but he showed no fear. I told my assistant, Raekwon Johnson, I said, man, that's going to be a 4-year varsity kid. And look how he finished off his career. I mean, he got snubbed on the Eastern District votes. He's been locking up some of the best guards in the area all season. He got snubbed in the region. But, I mean, some great guards in the region. There was some great guards in the region, so I understand. But, I mean, today was just a testament of his resiliency, just being ready for that moment. And he stepped up and hit that big-time 3 to close him out.
Starting or coming off the bench, we saw it against Lake Taylor, that overtime win back in January, and he also had the big play for Zamarion Mitchell gets the steal, put you guys ahead in the fourth quarter. Speak on the battle that Green Run gave you, because they've made you guys have to work for this tonight. You didn't have your typical shooting performance. They certainly handled Keon Fats Mitchell for you, who's probably going to get state player of the year, but you guys showed the resolve and resiliency that you touched on.
Hey, Green Run is a great team, man, and the coaching staff is probably one of the best in the area, man. They're going to challenge you. They're going to turn a checkers match into a chess match, and that's exactly what they did. And, we had to respond. We had a couple plays where we were up. They switched some things up, showed us what they had going. We had to respond. They responded to some of our things, and it just came to a last-minute type of game. But a great game from both teams,
no
though.
doubt.
Great game.
I mean, this game had 5 ties, 3 lead changes. Nobody got up more than double figures. And I know it helped that 2 of their main guys fouled out, and number 1, Xavier Cleveland, going to Virginia Tech for football, number 3, Malik Good. But how about your defense the last 5 minutes, Coach? Collectively, I don't think they had to fiddle the last 5 minutes. You had different guys step up and really embrace the challenge, huh?
Yeah, the defense, the fourth quarter, the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, them guys, we stepped up. I told the guys, keep your hands in your pockets, stop fouling. We did a wonderful job in the second half, not really doing too much fouling. And, we responded real well in that fourth quarter. The last 4 or 5 minutes, man, it went by so fast. Honestly, it was just a blur. It was just a blur, man. But I tell you what, man, it was a great game by both teams, man. Great game.
Last two for you. We know about the headliners, certainly the cousins, Keon Fats Mitchell and Marty Zamarion Mitchell for you, who did a lot of things really well in this game. In the case of Keon getting the foul line, some steals, some points, assists, Zamarion with his 3-pointers. But I think going into the year, after losing the regional quarters or semis 3 of the last 4 years, the difference with your team was your role players really stepped up in their roles as the season progressed. You mentioned to me Hayden Luther, 20 rebounds in a playoff game. Carlton Gregory, Jalen Freeman had a couple of big shots tonight. Different guys were unsung players. Bracey for you, Julius Bracey, you had him diving on the floor for loose balls. And Will Adams tonight typified that. He even spoke to me about that. Is that the thing you're most proud of here? Is it the whole group collectively got it done?
Those guys brought into their roles, and when everybody's buying into their role, things work out. Those guys, man, what can I say, man, just a great job for those guys, man. I ain't really had to deal with a lot of egos. Guys understood who the guys were, and then the guys respected the role players. The role players respected the guys, and they just reciprocated that respect amongst each other. And when it's working like that, it just comes out perfect.
Lastly, this team's going to go down in history. Will Adams' shot's going to live in history. What's this mean to you specifically, as well as the Norview community? You know how much basketball means to people in Norfolk and in Norview. This is something you all can celebrate years from now and have anniversaries and tell stories about, huh?
There's one thing you might don't know about Norview, and it's going to be hard to believe. Norview's a football school. And a lot of people don't know that, man. I mean, we talk about one of the greatest Eastern District players like Keith Willis. We produce football players. I think one in the late 90s, I think we got, back when teams wasn't doing it, we got like 13, 14 guys to go Division I believe. But I think Keith was on that team, or he was a junior on that squad. So we produced those football guys. But for us in a time like this where it's just, black clouds hanging over Norfolk, black clouds hanging over Norview. The misinformation at the Lake Taylor games, at both of them. It was a lot of misinformation about that game where it almost took away from two great teams and their performance, But the black clouds, the sun is coming out. The sun is coming out, and this means a lot for me. This means a lot for the team. It means a lot for the community, the school, the staff, man. Norview just in a whole is just a resilient family that never gives up. And tonight was just proof how we do it.
Well, job well done. Congratulations. Thank you so much, and go enjoy it.
Man, thank you.
So that was Ricardo Foster, head basketball coach of the Class 5 state champion Norview Pilots. And you also heard from Will Adams, Ed. It is 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. As 757 Sports Talk comes to you on a Sunday night as opposed to Saturday because of our responsibilities with the state championship broadcast. This is a privilege to call this game on the NFHS Network, Ed. And I know we were looking forward to it back in 2020 when these two were supposed to square off at VCU. It got canceled because of COVID. Remember, Green Run won that double overtime game in the region championship at the Scope. It was Jelani Darden and John Hines for Norview squaring off against Elijah Kennedy and Jacob Cooper for Green Run. And then the sports world got shut down. And I said this after the game, and I know the Green Run people don't want to hear this, but last year they got their championship, and we were so happy and thrilled personally for Kenneth Harris and his assistants, guys like Rod Cooper and Amaris Elliott and Raymond Weaver, who watches the show, longtime stat keeper. And I think that same joy is shared for Rick Foster and his assistants and staff, guys like Malcolm Hawkins, who played there, and Raekwon Johnson and Tim Brock and the rest of the assistants, because they've been knocking on that door. They've been in a tough region that you were a part of there, and you coached at both of these schools. We joked this was the Ed Young Bowl. You coached at Norview from 88 to 94, and you coached at Green Run, I think it was 2002 to 03. This was a game that went down to the wire, and it exceeded our expectations because I think coming in we thought Norview would win by 8 to 10 points. Green Run was up 9, as you see. 8 in the third quarter. They were down 9 early, and they had a chance to close us out, but two guys fouled out, in Zay Cleveland and Malik Gooden, and the big play from Will the Thrill Adams, as you just dubbed him, Will the Thrill.
Yeah, I mean, again, here we go. It's 2 757s. I picked Norview in a close one. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't mind if Green Run would have won it. I love both coaches, Coach Foster over there at Norview and Coach Harris at Green Run. Yeah, I coached at both places, a little longer at Norview, a little bit further back. And, a little bit of that's still in my heart for those schools. I love being at both those schools. It was really neat in my time there. Of course, I moved along on. But
and you love, by the way, real quick for folks that don't know this, we were staying after the game for about a good 20, 30 minutes. You were telling stories to both Coach Foster and Coach Hawk over there about your time at Norview with some of the great players. I think one of them was, you don't tell the whole story now, but was it Jermaine Beckett, your stud back in the day?
Yeah, Jermaine Beckett, one of the best. Rick made a comment about Norview being a football school. And when I was there, that kind of was told to me when I came there from Suffolk High School that, it's a football school. But we had a lot of really good basketball players, and I'm blessed. In my time there, we had some tremendous battle. That was when the Eastern District had the 5 Norfolk schools, period. No Portsmouth schools. So every night was, oh my God, a battle more ways than one. Usually had fights in the crowd, never with players. Willie Young, Shano Patterson, Jonathan Wilson, Eric Lyles, Marcus Cooper. Oh, I don't want to miss Ivan Thomas, the head coach at Hampton University.
Yeah. And by the way, these championships, when you win these, and I don't want to speak for Coach Foster here or yourself, but don't you think of those guys? I know Coach Harris probably thought about the guys before him, like yourself, the Plaxico Burrises, the BJ Jenkins, the guys that help lay the foundation as these programs are built, right?
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's a line. Everybody has their role in it. And, just like when Petersburg, when Coach White was talking about the great teams way in the back, Moses Malone, you had Frankie Mason, you had some tremendous players. But in this situation here, you had 2 really good local schools going at it. Why did I go for Norview? I thought a little bit more physical. Keon Mitchell could be the difference. And sometimes Green Run can shoot themselves out of a game. And if you can hold me up at the shooting, I wanted to see how did we do? Green Run for the game was 1941, 46%, not bad. And Norview
got it 2 of 14 from 3 for Green Run, 8 of 18 from Norview. That was a big difference because early, remember we talked about it at halftime, the fast break points. Green Run actually had more of those, 23 to 10. And I thought the game swung on that turnover at half court. If they don't have that turnover, that thing might have gone to overtime. But had it gone to overtime, I think that was advantage Norview because both Gooden and Cleveland had fouled out. I mean, this was a nip and tuck battle. I love the 2 little guys, Whaley and Adams, both ways. I mean, this had a lot of things to it. I mean, this was probably the 3rd best game of the 12. And there was, like I said, 7 games decided by 7 points or less. I told you the PA girls game was the best girls game, my number 2 game of the 12. I'd rank this the 3rd game. We're coming up on my number 1 game soon here of the 12. But this one was – I thought it lived up to the hype. It did, and maybe exceeded it.
Yeah, it was. It was a game that you really didn't know who was going to win until the very end. And I think we mentioned early in the broadcast or in the pregame that it could come down to whoever has the ball last in this game. So very, very close to that. I think with 2 seconds to go, Green Run had the ball, but they couldn't get the right time to go to the length of the court to get a decent shot off. In their situation. So,
and by the way, how about Whaley's shot almost went in from 3/4 court? If that had gone in, I mean, good gracious.
And I think what really hurt Green Run was when Xavion Cleveland fouled out. Their leading scorer was 17, and the guard
Malik Gooden, whose Gooden. Official name is Sean Michael Gooden, but everybody calls him Malik Gooden. So yeah,
and he was the other leading scorer, second leading scorer with 15, and he really makes them go all over the place. So. They lose those 2 people. Now you've got to battle a Norview who I don't think lost anybody. No, a couple guys had 4, but they didn't really lose anybody in that situation. And that last play, we described it. I remember Andy Hayes saying, okay, coach, you're the coach here in the booth. What do you draw up? I said, well, Keon Mitchell's going to have the ball. He dominates handling the ball. He's going to look for his outside shot. He's probably going to drive it because he's strong enough to get through people. But look for Green Run to at least double him, collapse on him, maybe run somebody else at him. Now, the key right there would be, does he still force the shot, or does he kick it out to maybe where the help came from? He kicked it out to where the help came from. Will was ready, as you heard in his interview. He was ready. He knew. As soon as he caught it, he knew he was going to launch it because his man had gone over to help in the lane, was come running out. So he knew that, because of time and whatever, I've got to get this shot up. And he put up Wasn't no fire it up, throw it up shot. He took a decent shot, and it went down. The shot that a lot of kids dream about having in the state title game to win the state. Many have dreamed it. Few have actually been able to accomplish it. He did.
Two quick thoughts. I know Larry Obama, our friend from the Pilot, will end up picking the Tidewater player during the All-Tidewater team later this month or next month, and the All-State teams are coming out. Mitchell's going to get Class 5 state player of the year. It goes without saying. We had the big discussion about Tidewater players of the year. It was really a two-man race much of the year with Mitchell and Dame Robinson from Lanston, who's a sophomore. And then your third guy who got in late was Joshua Rice from Hampton. I think Rice is your bronze. I think Robinson's your silver, and Keon Mitchell is your gold here. Now, he didn't have a great game statistically, 4 of 20. Did make his free throws, which is a big plus. He didn't do that earlier in his career, and I think his maturity showed because in the past, maybe last year, if it was a junior in this game, he would have taken that shot and forced it. And perhaps even if they're down one, if Kevin Whaley Jr. makes both free throws as opposed to one to tie it, Ed, he might have felt the urgency or the responsibility to have to take that shot trailing by one as opposed to tied. But he made the right basketball play there, and a salute to him. And I think he deserves Tidewater Player of the Year. We'll see if he gets it, but he would be the nod and out for me in that award. You probably agree, right?
Yeah, I'm going to look at it as, the year you had. Then you have to say, okay, what teams went the furthest, who won titles. Mm-hmm. And his team won a title. Okay, he didn't have a great game, but you don't base it on one game. Right. The selection of all whatevers, it's a year-long event. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen coaches screw up voting because I'll hear him say, well, he didn't do nothing against us. That was 2 games or one game. You didn't see the whole season? Come on, man.
Sounds like something you heard in your all-region 4A meeting, but we'll leave that alone for right now. We have more coming your way here on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Interact with us on the YouTube, and for those watching on our television side of things on Your Review and Cox, we always appreciate you. You're always welcome to hit the comment chat box on the YouTube, the IG, the Facebook, the Twitter, or wherever you are tuning in as well. More coming your way. Don't touch it. We got Class 4, and there was a surprise in Class 4. Oh, a couple of big stories in Class 4. Girls and boys involving 757 teams. It's coming up, but we're going to hear from those that make it possible, including one of Ed's favorites, Chicho's Pizza.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
CoVA Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit CoVApainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
to the Mustangs of Manor High School.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Well, not quite Saturday. It's 757 Sunday Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. Ed, history was made on Saturday morning at the VCU Siegel Center in Richmond. For the first time ever, a team that was eliminated from the playoffs, yes, eliminated from the playoffs, won a state championship. And you say, how on earth did that happen? Because they were eliminated, but a judge said, not so fast, my friend. The Manor Mustangs and Roger Smith, congratulations to them. You saw the celebration, 43-40. And this would probably be game number 4 if I'm ranking them out of 12 as far as best games. This game was hotly contested, 6 ties, 9 lead changes. They won it 43-40 in the end. Didn't Manor, the team from Portsmouth, who only had 1 loss the entire season, Ed, and that 1 loss was to Menchville, 75-51, the Class 5 runner-up, who gave Princess Anna a heck of a battle, and a freshman shall lead them. Yes, they have Ciasia Brown, who's going to Bowie State, and Leah Williams off the bench made some key plays, and Alana Jones, a couple of blocks, and a number of players stepped up for them, but Josiah Babb, 23 points, 7 steals, 6 rebounds. It was looking bleak for Manor. Your pick. You stuck by them from the start of the whole playoff reset to through the trials and tribulations. They lost to Salem a year ago in the state semis. They were down 7 in the third quarter. I changed my pick. I had Salem going into the state tournament, and then after the semifinal round, I said, hold off here, and I took them 64-62 in overtime. I was way wrong on the margin as far as the level of score being in the 60s was in the 40s, but they pulled it out against Salem. And by the way, Salem was staying at our hotel. We didn't know that going in. And this was a heck of a battle, wasn't it?
Yeah. When I walked in and saw we get there right at the beginning of this ball game, I saw the size of Salem, athletic ability of Salem. I thought, Manor might have trouble. Manor carrying 9 players. They don't play a whole lot there. I was thinking, well, you're going to have to play some people in this game because, again, VCU Siegel Center, that court is 94 feet. That's 10 feet. At least 10 feet longer than all the high school courts around. Does make a difference for a lot of teams. And they've got the big background behind the baskets, end zones with seats. Most high schools don't have that. So now Cherusland does, but not quite as big as VCU the Siegel Center at VCU. So anyways, with all that in there, and Manor's a shooting team. They do a lot of pressure. They do get less, but they put it up. They're not a big team. And game is going back and forth, but Manor did what they had to do at the right time because I think weren't they down like 6 with 2 minutes to go or something?
No. That wasn't 6 with 2 minutes to go. They were down, as we showed you, they were down 7 with 4 minutes to go in the third. Okay. Salem, it was in the middle part of the fourth quarter was kind of back and forth by 2 or 3 points. It wasn't that large a margin, but they did hold Gabby Crawley, the region player of the year, to 3 points. And last year in that matchup, she had 19 against them when they beat Manor in the state semis. But Babb, to me, is the difference. She was not on the team last year. She's a freshman, and her numbers they tell the story. She would be on an all-tournament team if you were to select the top 5, 10 players, be it boys or girls, or combine them. She's on it. I know 5 of 19 isn't that pretty, but 23, 6, and 7 swipes, that's mighty nice.
Yeah, when you look at a team that shoots 22% for the game and wins, you got to say how. Well, defensively, you make a key play here or there. They grabbed 30. A team that's not that big grabs 34 rebounds. They did what they had to do at the right spots, and they never gave up. And they went from winning in court to winning it all on the court. And I'm not getting into that court stuff. Everybody knows the story. It's been all over. All the experts out there had their opinion of what happened and whatever. Mm-hmm. So we don't need to go over that. We did a little bit on that ourselves on a show a couple of weeks ago. We did hear some of the inside stuff, so we knew. But hats off to him. Roger, good dude. And the young ladies got that extra opportunity to come back out there and really And it was something. I even heard some people were hoping they would lose because they won in the court and they shouldn't have. I just thought to myself, wow, some people just need to get a life. But I'm happy for them. And they beat a very good team, extremely good team in Salem, and they had a revenge from last year.
Well said. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. We should never wish bad upon people because they didn't like the outcome of the decision. Even I was outspoken about I thought it was unfortunate and unfair to Ward Hill and the rest of the field. But again, that is nothing I hold against the men or girls. It's just how the system is or how it was set up. And I don't even blame the VHSL with it. People do. I don't blame them. It played out kind of funky, but at the end of the day, we got a good game. Two worthy, deserving teams in the sense of how hard they play, and we're good enough to be here, and Manor wins it. And Roger Smith, we look forward to hopefully getting him on the show. We'll probably get him on next Saturday, or I know he agreed to come on with you soon. And now that everything's kind of died down and the championship's over, again, exhale, we'll probably get him on, and maybe we'll let him play you in Fact or Fiction. That'd be fun, right? See if he can beat you.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll effort getting him for next Saturday. I think it'll be a good one.
See if he can come on and see if he wants to play you in trivia. That'd be fun. I bet he'll beat you. I think he's smarter than you anyway. So
no, Roger won't beat me.
Okay. Oh, are you gonna guarantee it?
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely guarantee it.
Oh, guarantee it. And if you lose, maybe you'll buy him in Willie Gauze's steak. How about that?
If you want a steak title, I probably should. Boy, that's a lot of money coming out of my pocket. Because so far you made me, I've got to get Gauze because I made that bet. Then you threw somebody else in there.
Yeah, Adrian Webb.
But he didn't win a state title.
Close. Listen, he was tasting that steak up 6. He was tasting that steak up 6.
I said on this air, if he signs up for the BCAP, I'll include him. He hasn't signed yet, so he ain't getting.
Well, he was a little busy this week. Cut the guy some slack. He had a state championship game. Cut him some slack.
It takes 16 seconds to sign up.
A little more than 16 seconds.
No,
you can't even log onto your computer in 6 minutes and 16 seconds. What are you talking about?
I got on this one tonight in about 13.
Nah, that's not what the timer said.
Sure did.
Well, last week we had on the show, in addition to Adrian Webb, Zach Harold Zook, his John Hanley judges. They didn't just beat the Hampton Crabbers, who were riding a 26-game winning streak. They absolutely thumped them. And the guys in Winchester, they've been around for 100 years, never got to do this until Saturday. I love the subdued nature of the players getting the trophy there, because I think even they were stunned that it was so easy for them. I mean, this was the surprise of the tournament. Not that Hanley could beat Hampton. We thought this was an even level type of game, slight edge to Hampton. I think my pick was, this is the only one of the 12 I got wrong, by the way, although I had Hanley preseason number 1 and I had Hampton preseason number 2. I picked Hampton to win this game 56-53. But the thing that got me, Ed, was they beat them by 19. The Crabbers, who only lost one game, the opener to Denby, 61-42. And big props to Zach Harold Zook. His game plan was about as good as it can be. 24 in the fourth quarter against the Crabbers. They played ball control. They got everybody to contribute. Isaiah Baxter with 8 of his 14 in the first quarter. Christian Dinges, who's going to get State Player of the Year, with 18. He's a young 17, as Zach Harold Zook said. If you want to get some extended coverage on this game, we'll have more on VirginiaPreps.com, but check out his press conference and his one-on-one with me after the game. Kyron Oglesby made plays. Will Brondwin, he's carving out what a career. But this was something for a young coach on the rise who was texting you at 2 a.m. about this game. You thought he was nervous, but he didn't show any panic. This guy was as cool as a cucumber, and they took down an excellent Hampton team.
This was a cool game to watch, though I picked and wanted Hampton. It
wasn't cool for Hampton. What do you mean cool game to watch?
Well, from the standpoint of pure coaching, this was the best coached game by the winner, I think, in the tournament. The only way Hanley beats Hampton is the game plan that Zach came up with, and his change in defenses, ball control offense, shooting 51% from the floor, taking high percentage shots, trying to draw Hampton out and their big fellas out on the board. Hampton got a little frustrated. Shots weren't dropping. When the more frustrated you get on offense, the more you break down on defense. And this is what happened. And again, Hanley's a very, very good team. Braun Doohan was gone most of the season because of injury, came back. That team, Zach made a good comment in the media room that by losing him, it made him have to find out what else do we have? What else do we have to go to? And Christian Dingus really stepped up the whole season. And they had a pretty good game in this one too. Taking the big fellas from Hampton off the dribble in there, got a couple dunks out of it too. They just executed a just well thought out game plan, and they executed it with discipline perfectly. To me, Hampton's one of the top 5 teams in the state of Virginia. And I'll say this. I know Hanley people, if they hear this down the road, will say, darn, Ed Young can never give us credit. If they were to play 10 times, Hampton would win 6, but they didn't have to play 10. They played once, and Hanley only needed 1, and they got it.
I don't have a problem with that statement at all. I agree with you that Zach Harrell's looked at the best coaching job because not only did they have to win this game, their playoff run to beat EC Glass, who was undefeated on the road in the region championship, beat a darn good broad run team with Ryan Brzezinski going to Mount St. Mary's in the quarters, go win on the road in Richmond against Verona at Highland Springs, and then beat Hampton might have been the toughest road, I said that, of all the teams. I do think, and I'm not saying you did this, we give Coach Harrell's credit, but his players deserve to turn that credit too, to buy into the coaching and to do what they did and play as unselfishly as they did. So I think that also goes hand in hand. But 2 things can be true. It can be an awesome coach game, and this takes nothing away from Hampton's excellent season. And saying the word laid an egg is strong, and it's almost like it's critical of players. But this felt like an underwhelming performance for Hampton. I know they wish they had played better. And some things, you can have 2 things be true. Hanley had a great game plan. Hampton had just had a rotten day, and it happens sometimes. It's unfortunate that happened for them in a storied program with terrific players who should still hold their heads high about their year that they accomplished. I know we discussed this coming back. Hampton is one of the 5 best teams in Virginia, but the way Gavin Kay was laboring late in the year, he wasn't 100% healthy, and I felt like their ball, even though they had 6 turnovers, their ball handling play was not giving them electric playmaking from the top unless it was initiated from Josh Rice late in games or Jawan Tucker and Abraham Tafcott slashing. I might have overrated Hampton just a pinch, and it felt like Ed that they of the teams from the 757 might not have been the best at the end of the year. For whatever happened right before the Heritage Leesburg game, they lost some of their mojo, and Heritage played them really tough. I'm not sure they were the best team from the 757. I know you think they are, but I feel like on a given day they could be had by Norview, Green Run, or Lancetown. I know you differ, but this was a given day, and they got beat pretty soundly.
And again, all I say to that is I look at the shooting. Shooting was not very good at all. I look at Tucker and Kay and Jeanette put together 5 for 24.
Yeah.
You got to hit shots. And they only had 6 turnovers. Okay, that's another key. They lost a game in which they did not play well at all. Heck of a time to pick one for that. But only 6 turnovers. Normally you're going to say, oh, they must have had 17 turnovers. No, they had
none at halftime. And by the way, there was only 1 turnover in this game at halftime. So this was a well-played first half. And it was similar to the Lancetown-Westfield game in the first half where wasn't a lot of mistakes. Hanley's execution was superb, but Hampton just in the second half, it was unfortunate. They didn't play their best game, but hats off to Hanley. They did a job well done.
And the one number here that I wanted to say, and I think I said it at the game, it has to be a mistake, but my stats VA don't make many mistakes. Perhaps Gavin Kane at 6'7", 225, 230, 0 rebounds.
I don't remember getting a rebound, but you noticed and you called that out in the first quarter. He wasn't moving right. Something was up there. And
he's had a whole year of shin splints. Anybody's ever had shin splints, you know what that is. It's you can't even take your finger and rub it down your leg without it hurting. So that's tough. Plus, they pulled him out a lot. It's why he wasn't always at the rim to get it. So that's where it sits. And I'll sit here and I'll defend Hampton to the hill. It was a one game, and I know it's the wrong one to pick. Things just not go right, whatever. But let them play 10. And of course, that's a dumb statement. Play 10 times, what for? They only needed to play once, and they didn't deliver. But
well, they're not winning 6 out of 10. They're not winning 6 out of 10 if Gavin Kay's not healthy. I can tell you that.
Well, Coach Brown would have a different well, you got to make shots. If they make those shots and do a little bit better on the rebounding, they win that game 4 or 5 points. Even though that was a great game plan by Zach, they win that game, but they didn't. And that's what you go by. What was on the floor? And again, I'll say it for about the 5th game. Hampton, you got nothing to be ashamed of. Hats off to you, 26 in a row. And I always say this, the more you keep winning, the pressure builds and builds and builds towards that next or first loss. Now, they had a loss at the beginning of the year to Denby and rectified that when they played Denby again. But as that pressure keeps going, and then when you run into somebody good and somebody has a great game plan, not all coaches come up with great game plans. Some coaches just hope, boy, I hope we play well. I hope my best player does good. They ran up against somebody that had a game plan for you. And like I said, let Hampton make some of those shots, get a few more rebounds. I think we have a different outcome.
It's quite possible. There was 24 teams that competed in the state championship on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. A couple teams repeated, Ed. We highlighted them earlier. Princess Anne girls, 4-peat. Osborne Park girls, 4-peat. Couple of teams that lost a year ago got a chance for redemption. One team that fell short of a repeat was Green Run, by the way. They fell short in that game to Norview. Manchester girls lost last year. Couldn't get a different outcome against Osborne Park. But a team in Class 2 that lost last year to the machine that was John Marshall. Well, we thought last year in a lot of ways that the sentimental guy to getting a championship, you felt the feel-good story was Chad Edwards, your buddy from Spotswood, the president of the BCAV. And I think you would concur the feel-good story from a coaching perspective in this year's tournament was the guy who fell short last year, veteran at it, who's had a health issue, suffered a stroke last June. We're talking about Todd Baker of the Graham G-Men, and his team got it done in Class 2 against Central Woodstock, and here's their celebration in our conversation with Coach Baker. Oh, yeah, the victory taker on CoVA Sports TV.
Okay, here with Graham head basketball coach Todd Baker. His team wins at 65-50 over Central Woodstock in the VHSL Class 2 state championship. Coach, first time in a long time, going back to the 50s as it comes back to Bluefield state championship. What's going through your mind as you do it for these kids in the community? I know a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears went into this.
Well, we're just that's ultimately what's for is our community. Our Bluefield community is just second to none. I mean, we needed to get here in a week's time, and they made sure it happened. And thanks to all the contributions in the town of Bluefield. And it's not that we try and support all the Graham High School athletics. I think our community is just second to none in doing that. I'm just thrilled to be a part of this team, and our coaching staff is great. Those guys are loyal, they're committed. So it feels really, really good.
And the balancing of having multi-sport athletes there at Graham, the football team's always in the state championship hunt. You guys get a later start the most, but you graduate Markel Ray and Blake Graham, a couple of all-region guys, Ray, a region player of the year. And this team, you got off to maybe a better start than you anticipated. Did you feel like you were on schedule in December?
Well, we actually did get a 2-week earlier start this year, which does help. But it still takes, everybody says, oh, these athletes just go from one to the other. It takes time. I mean, football is a totally different conditioning and just hand coordination, footwork than basketball. So we did have that extra little bit of time, and I think it helped bring those football players quicker this year. But again, We open up our first game with Bluefield, and it's always a big rivalry, and that's a tough game. And but I think it set the tone for how we really need to be tough this year.
Certainly your three headliners are Campbell Fix, Ty Martin, Channing DeCibio, all region, all state level guys for you. But I think it'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the unsung heroes for you, the La Palmers. I mean, Gage and Garrett make a lot of plays that don't show up in the stat sheet. Garrett gets 11 rebounds today, and Gage gets 5 steals. So they also made the plays that show up in the stat sheet today.
Well, those two, now Garrett's a freshman. Gage has been for 3 years, just one of the defensive guys that can guard anybody 1 through 5 and really enjoys it. I mean, he really enjoys defense, and he's also been a calming force on offense for us this year. We really, truly, those three guys you mentioned aren't a true point guard like Markel was. Markel was a true point guard, but Gage he just calmed us. He set us up in our sets throughout the year, and then Garrett coming around and just finishing around the basket was phenomenal. And of course, his length and rebounding was just really a big difference in the game. We knew we had to at least stay with him on rebounds or out rebound him. I think it was pretty even, really.
Yeah, 2-part question here. How much did last year's experience of getting here, even though some guys are gone, some guys are back, help you? And that was a different animal you played in John Marshall. But 2, Class 2 felt so wide open this year. A lot of good teams that didn't make it, the Martinsvilles, the Floyds, the Nelson Counties. And this Central Woodstock team you played today, they're a resilient bunch, aren't they?
Yeah, they. I remember saying 2 or 3 days ago, because we played them in football 3 years ago, and the thing about that football game was, we score and you think the game's over, but that bunch never quits. I watched them play Thomas Jefferson. They're down 10.
I think it was 14 in the third.
And fight and come back. So we knew we had our hands full. That team, I don't know, 5 seniors maybe that's been around and played a lot of ball games, and so we knew that they had fight in them, and we just made a few more plays than they did.
Yeah, certainly Campbell Fix has a couple of highlight reel plays for you. DeCibio can shoot it better than he did today, but he still impacted the game in a lot of different ways. And how about Ty Martin? I know his older brother Darren played for you. This was really his coming out party on a big stage, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, he I feel like he had not a mismatch, but I thought he had a slight advantage of who was guarding. And I felt like he could get downhill a little bit easier because their best player is on Channing. The second best player might be on Campbell. And so you go down the line, and eventually we hope we kind of find an advantage. But I just thought he made some tough shots, and he's learning how to play off 2 feet, just like Darren. It took Darren a few years to do it, but man, did he not come up on the big stage. He just played extremely well.
Sure. And lastly, I know people around the state, I said this on the broadcast, feel great for you, all that you've been through with your health issues in the past year. Last year, the guy that was knocking on the door that finally broke it down was Chad Edwards, the Spotswood, the Coaches Association president there with BCAB. Today, it's you. To hear your guys speak about this, what it meant to do it for you, what's that mean to you?
I'm an emotional guy, and I show my true colors about this basketball program and our community. I can move anywhere I want to move, but I have no desire to leave the town of Bluefield. So it means everything to me.
Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
Thank you, sir.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And you heard from Todd Baker there, Ed. He got teary-eyed in the press conference with what he's gone through, and his players, you can just tell how much they love and care about him. And this was a pretty good game, too. 6 ties, 7 lead changes. Derek Batiz-Lugo tried to will Central Woodstock, who's got a resilient group, man. I mean, they were down 14 in the state semis to TJ of Richmond and battled back. And they were down 6-7 points a couple times this game and got back. An 11-point lead, wasn't safe with 3.5 minutes to go. Batiz-Lugo, who will be back next year, 25 points. Really the only guy that hurt Graham. G-Man had more balance, and Ty Martin, a sophomore, had an awesome day. You see 25 points, 11 of 19 from the floor. DeCibio got his 17. Campbell Fix his 13. And I think the experience of being there last year helped Graham get to the finish line. Experience helped a number of teams. Princess Anne Girls and Osborne Park. Green Run Boys had a lead for a good chunk of their game with Norview. There's no substitute for that. And I think this will help Central Woodstock try to get back. But for Graham, they played the Monstars that was John Marshall last year, and this time it was not as daunting an opponent.
No, I think this was a game, even though that second quarter they were down on it. The thing I remember at the end of this game, and I think I just saw it again, points in the paint by Graham. Mm-hmm. Not that they're a big imposing team. 48-30, yes, 48-30 in the paint. Now that's layups, it's not dunks and all that. It's just getting into the paint, your high percentage shot.
A lot of fast break points in this game too, by the way. 47 total.
And Woodstock had more with the 27, right?
Yeah. This was an up and down game. It was fast and loose. It had some sloppy moments, but it was entertaining. It was an entertaining game for a 9-point or 7-point deficit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was entertaining where, one moment you felt Woodstock had it, then you think, wait a minute, G-Man, and okay, here they come. Here comes Woodstock coming back down 3, and then all of a sudden here Dram pulls away, and Ty Martin, DeCibio, Channing, the guys, they just did a tremendous job. Who was it? What was number 10 for G-Man?
Fix. He had the dunk, the highlight reel dunk. Yeah.
Yeah, the little dude. He climbed the ladder for the dunk. And then there was another play. He went in for a layup, brought the ball kind of like behind his back.
Yes.
And brought it back out and boom, put the layup. Everybody on defense froze.
You know what it was? Robert Anderson sent us a text. We sent him the broadcast. Robert, who's the Virginia High School League Hall of Famer for us, Virginia Preps, used to write for the Roanoke Times and does some contributions for the Cardinal News too. He said it was Scott Skiles-esque. You remember Scott Skiles? Yeah.
Exactly. And I've seen Scott Skiles make that play. But the fix was in, and I think this kid was the glue of that team. And I remember in the media room, in the interview, Coach Baker had mentioned that fix was the same way in football. He just lifted everybody. He came with 100% energy. He got on teammates. He didn't allow negativity. He didn't back down from nobody at 5'9". He didn't back down. He just went at people. And he caught my eye in that game because he was somebody that was not going to they were not losing this game under any circumstance if he had anything to do with it. And, and I feel a little bit for Coach Baker too and what he's gone through and knowing that, a stroke could take you out completely. And he was able to overcome it and get rewarded with this state championship.
Yeah, heck of an effort. Also in Class 2, the championship is going back to Berryville. Berryville, one of Ed's favorite towns in the Commonwealth.
Where's Berryville?
Yeah, for the third time. Third championship for the Clark County Lady Eagles. That was a joyous celebration. It was like Ed Young with his buddies from college when they found out they were getting free ice cream. That's what it was like. They were hugging and
college. I do it now. If I get free ice cream, I'm jumping around like I'm crazy.
Clark County, nothing crazy about this win, 67-55. They kept Union at bay the entire second half. Now, at halftime, it was 26-25. They were done after one quarter of play, but second half things started to change. You talk about points in the paint. They had it 36-26. They had the second chance points, the bench points, 16-0. Yes, this had 3 ties, 8 lead changes. A little more competitive than the final score says. That's a little deceiving, but Caitlin Witt had a rough day. Well, not that rough a day. She had 27 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 turnovers. You're saying, Matt, what the heck? I say rough day for her because she's usually scoring 35+, 40+. She's an absolute wizard of the basketball, just a junior. Her team and her all had a rough day from 3. 0 for 15, which is unheard of in a state championship game. Clark, meanwhile, was 6 of 16. Young lady going to Shippensburg. Elena McCavish, 22-11. Her sister Paige, though, also logged a double-double with 13-11 to go with 3 blocks. And it was Clark County's time. They got it done with better outside shooting, and they had the board play, too, because of so many misses from 3. They get the job done.
Yeah, that second half was a statement by Clark County. It's almost 2 different teams. First half, back and forth. Second half, Union kind of was in the same mode, but Clark County just went up a couple 3 levels, and the shooting just did Union in, and the shooting helped Clark County. And that's the name of the game. You got to put the, as they say, the biscuit in the basket, and Union didn't, and Clark County did.
And I highlighted that sub there, Paige Stemberger, that bench production. She was the unsung hero there with the 13 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists. You get 3 players in a game with a double-double, 1 being a reserve. You're probably going to win a state championship game.
Yeah, their dominance on the board was well documented. And again, Union had a heck of a time to pick a game where you're not really playing good, but their opponent, Clark County, took care of that.
Indeed. We're going to come back and put the finishing, not quite the finishing touches on the show, but the finishing touches on the state tournament, because you will get our reaction to Class 3 girls and what Matt Hatfield felt. We'll see if Ed Young felt was the best game of the state tournament. It required not one, but 2 overtimes. Our analysis of those matchups when we return right here on 757 Sports Talk. Where are they watching, Edward?
CoVA Sports TV.
Back in just a bit.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there, because here you are more. One Life Fitness.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here!
We've got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
well, no, we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in a phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. All right, here with Matt Huff, the head basketball coach of the state champion Luray Bulldogs, 84-82 in double overtime of Fort Chiswell's Pioneers here on a Friday night at the VCU Siegel Center in Richmond. Coach, just how you dreamed it up or drew it up, double overtime. How's that sound to be state champions the way you guys won it tonight in the Classic?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, obviously winning a state championship, I tell my dad every day, I'm like, hey, man, you know, he says, what's the game plan? I said, well, if we can score one more point than the other team, we can win. So just scoring one more was good, but that was a classic game. And that was such a great high school game. Those guys were really good. I said at the beginning of the game, I told our coaches, I said, you know, I think if we can hold, I know Owen Jackson is scoring 33. I said, I think if we can hold him to 30 and keep the other guys, you know, under 10, I think we can win. And then they said he had 53, and I said,
breaks Matt McClung's state championship record. Yeah, we can't say the word after that, right?
Yeah, I was like, wow. But then I looked at everybody else, and everybody else was under 10. So I said, well, we got everybody else under 10, and we were able to, you know, get the win.
Special player, and we knew you had a special player leading you and Matt Owens. I was going to JMU, and he had a couple more assists tonight. Didn't have his typical shooting game, 3 steals, 8 boards. Got a couple key free throws for you. He fouls out in overtime. Now, I'll ask you what I was thinking of the kids. What was harder to overcome? Him and also Riley Benson fouling out, or Jackson sending it to overtime?
Yeah, well, we were supposed to foul.
Okay, so that was the plan.
Yeah, so at the end of the game, we were up 3, and I said as soon as they crossed half court, we were supposed to foul. And Connor was guarding the guy in the corner with the ball, and he didn't foul. And I was like, man, why didn't he foul? And then there's Jackson wide open, and I was like, great, he made it. But I told our guys in the huddle, I said, hey, we're still going to win this game. Like, you've got to understand that we're going to win this game. And that was the message. And Matthew fouled out, and it looked bleak there for a minute. We were able to battle back and get it to double overtime. When it got to double overtime, I think our guys came off to the bench and they said, all right, we got this.
To win it the way you did, of course, Owens is the headliner, 1,500-plus points, also made score in school history. To have, and Connor Hilliard double-double tonight, but so many different guys off your bench, Cole Hilliard, Aiden Cook in particular, to do it that way, this has got to make it even more gratifying and rewarding, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. To have those young guys that a lot of times in a regular season didn't have big roles, have a big role down the stretch tonight and win it. Hopefully it skyrockets our program even further next year. So to win a game like that speaks volumes.
Yeah. You have the target on your back. Obviously, you go from Class 2 last year, falling to John Marshall, a juggernaut in the state semis.
Right.
You go down to Class 1. You're ranked 1 by us on Virginia Prep's BCAVS poll pretty much all year. You have a couple of hiccups there, but you played a tough schedule. Right. What was the message with the group all year long, knowing the expectations were where they were and that people are coming for you and giving you their best game?
Yeah, we said that everybody was going to give us our best game, but the message was that there's still a lot of doubters and haters out there that don't believe, so we got to make them believe. And every day you got to go out and play and make them believe. And, our district, Central played for a Class 2 state title tonight. Strasburg was in the state tournament. Our Rappahannock was in the state semis. And, our district is really good. So it definitely prepared us. And, the hiccups along the way in the regular season, I tell our guys all the time, hey, some of those games we're doing things to work on and see. So down the road, if we need to throw it in there or throw it out there, we can. So, sometimes it's my coaches say chess, not checkers, but, sometimes you may lose a game in the regular season because you're doing something that you want to try to work on late in the season. So those were some of the hiccups. But again, some of the hiccups were to some really, really good teams. So not really all bad.
Absolutely. You guys certainly kept the chip on the shoulder and hungry about it all. And lastly, you'll celebrate this and have more time to reflect on it, I'm sure. But as you think about it here in the moment, spur of the moment here, what's your takeaway from this group? And what did you learn about this team that you didn't know going into the season or even tonight?
I learned that the younger guys are a lot better than people think. I knew that. I knew they were really good. I see them every day in practice. But I think a lot of other people wasn't sure how good they really were. Which bodes well going into next year, hopefully. But this group, they've been resilient for 3 years. They've put in the work, they've put in the time, and they've always been fighters. They've got that dog in them, as we like to say, since we're the Bulldogs. They've got that dog in them, and it's just a special group. And to cap it off for the win in the state championship, I just couldn't be more proud.
Well, Coach Huff's Luray Bulldogs state champions in 2026. Thank you so much. Go enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Sorry about that. I was dancing, moving and grooving on this show. Why are you shaking your head?
Don't do that again.
Don't do that again. Sorry, Dad.
That's not dancing.
Back here on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV, you heard from Luray head basketball coach Matt Huff, who's got the best name of any coach in the state tournament. And one of his players has the best first name of any player in the state tournament. And that player, by the way, we'll scroll up to him, Matthew Owens, 21 points, 5 of 22, had a rough shooting game, 1 for 10. Looked like me now with my bad knee. He usually shoots better like I did back in my day. He was usually 7 for 10. All-time leading scorer in Luray history. 10 to 13 from the line, 8 rebounds, 3 steals. It looked bleak, Ed, when he fouled out in the overtime, and they were down. Was it 4 in the first overtime? This was some game. You talk about classics. 84-82 was the score. But the thing that's going to be remembered besides the outcome, Luray getting its first championship in 50 years, is Action Jackson. Now, ladies and gents, Ed Young has never seen the movie Action Jackson, which I'm disappointed in him, number one here. It's one of the all-time movies with Carl Weathers and Craig T. Nelson in it. He needs to go watch it, get it on VHS or DVD or find it somewhere. Maybe one of his many hot babes that he talks to can tell him, hey, let's watch Action Jackson tonight. And then he'll watch it. And Owen Jackson, he was that dude. 53 points, 17 of 36, 10 rebounds. His 53 points is a new Virginia High School League state championship game record. And, of course, the previous record was held by none other than Mac McClung, the Mac Attack from Gate City. Did it against Robert E. Lee of Stanton. Now, Ed, do you remember who had the record before Mac McClung set the record? You should know this. If you don't
should know this.
But you probably forgot. You'll say, oh, yeah, I knew that. You're going to kick yourself. You literally will kick yourself.
North, south, east, west.
Out west. Yes, in the same kind of area. He's actually a current NBA head coach. Now, you got to get it at this point.
Oh, J.J. Redick.
There you go. See, that was the give. I shouldn't have given him that easy of a cop-out. I gave you a total easy cop-out. I did.
Well, I was thinking, too, of Scotty Reynolds.
That's not a bad guess. That's a good guess by you, but it wasn't Scotty Reynolds. But this kid right here, Owen Jackson, what a game he had. And he's only a 10th grader, Ed. And we heard in the press room talking, we knew he was a baseball player. Some that cover him every day swear up and down he's a better baseball player than basketball, which I say, I got to see it. He's a pitcher. I know Ed's talking to him to see if he can get the Yankees, get him a contract. It's not going to happen. Sorry, coach. And you're not going to find him at Smithfield. He's going to stay put at Fort Chiz, I do believe. But if you didn't see it, we have it for you. Game is winding down into regulation. You heard Coach Huff talk about it. We wondered about it on the air, and I said it. You got to foul up 3. So many college basketball coaches make the mistake. He wanted his guys to foul up 3. They didn't, and here's what happened. And that was the first of 2 overtimes. Helene Shane actually enjoyed the overtimes too for us, by the way, on NFHS, our producer extraordinaire. What'd you make of this game? Because I thought this was the best game. Don't poo-poo it. You said the PA Menchville girls game, but Class 1, we wondered about how great a game this would be going in it. Oh, this one was spectacular.
Sometimes these Class A, 1A, 2A bring the best games. They bring the wildest fans, maybe not the most fans, though it does look like it. Yes, it was. It turned into probably, I'll have to agree with you, best game, the 2 overtimes. The Owen Jackson, UW Action Jackson, going crazy on the scoring. Yes, he's a ball dominator. Back in the day, you might say ball hog, but he does pass. He didn't have any assists because guys weren't shooting it. And I think you told me he was averaging, 4 or 5 assists a game during the season?
Yeah, so going into this one, I pull up my notebook with my Etch-a-Sketch over here. 32.9 points per game. He had 52 in the season opener that they lost to Carroll County. 7.8 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists per game, 71% from the foul line, 33% from 3. But how about that? You open your season with a 52-point game and you lose, and you end your season with a 53-point, 10-rebound game in double overtime and lose. Yeah, that's hard to fathom, isn't it?
You're going to have to go a long way to find that out anywhere. 50-point game in high school. Wow. The kid can do it. He gets to the hole. He's a rip and run guy. He can take it off the rebound and go with it. You know he's coming, but people weren't able to stop him. He is a legit 6'5" lanky kid who's going to get bigger and stronger, I would believe, and he's going to get better. People said, Coach, is he ACC? Is he high level? I'm a little hard on putting kids at the next level because I always rate a kid as being in the team's top 8 as to where he can play. I think he's on track for that. But like we said, we've heard he's a pretty good pitcher, and at 6'5", eventually maybe 6'6", 6'7". And if he's throwing 96 mile an hour with some other kind of pitches, remember, you can make money quicker in baseball than you can in basketball. Who knows? But he's only a sophomore. It was tremendous to watch. It was tremendous to watch, and I do not dub him a ball hog. He dominates the ball, but there are many. I look at it this way as a coach. Yeah, I got a kid that can score 50 a game, and we win 51 50 every time. But then we're going to do that. That kid's going to get 51 points because you got a lot of other kids who can't score. And if you want it to be everybody gets equal amount of shots and it has a nice go play in the rec league. This is high school is the first of the 3 levels. It's you got to go for it. Yeah. And the team plays well around them. It seems like it. Now, if they were losing, probably be a different story, but they're not. It kind of reminds me. He reminded me of Pistol Pete Maravich back in the day at LSU.
Ooh, I like that. I love that
game. And
not start calling you the comp man. You had these comparisons like Malik Gooden, Shannon Evans, Keon Mitchell, James Harden, and people will say, "Oh my gosh!"
With Jackson, he's not as smooth as Maravich was, but Maravich, who by the way still holds the college record of career average of 44.7, and only played 3 years because back then the freshmen had to play JV. They couldn't play varsity. They couldn't play their first year. He averaged 44 before the 3-point line. With 3-point line, he's probably 65 a game for a career because he can shoot it. But anyways, that's kind of what it kind of looked like him a little bit too with the floppy hair and all that. And he was 6'5". So it was good, but the better team, I think, prevailed. Obviously, Luray really,
think so too.
Just I mean, they play so well together. Not that they didn't play. Chiswell didn't, but I think Luray just did it so nice.
Well, I remember there were 7 seniors surrounding Owen Jackson in the lineup. So what they'll look like next year, who knows? It was going to be tough and agonizing for either team that lost this game. But, I mean, there's obviously more than one takeaway from this game. But one of them for me is that Luray won with Matthew Owens fouling out. He's going to JMU. But have you ever seen a state championship game where all 5 starters had 4 or 5 fouls and that team managed to win that game? I mean, Connor Hilliard's younger brother, Cole, made crucial plays, as did Aiden Cook off the bench because they had to. It looked like Luray was done and buried. They lost last year in the Class 2 state semis to John Marshall. They turned around and win this year. So your 2 smallest classification teams lost last year to John Marshall. They say thank you to Ty White. It's the Petersburg. They win championships in 1 and 2, and Luray, of course, drops down from 2 to 1, which helped their cause a little bit here. But this game was something. It'll go down in the books as one of the best.
Yeah, and you know, when Owens fouled out, I thought they were definitely trouble. But the team actually picked himself up. Connor Hilliard and his brother Cole off the bench just did a tremendous job of picking up what Owens took with him back to the bench on that foul out. So, again, just a tremendous, tremendous team effort.
55 3-pointers put up in that game. We expected that. And there was 68 free throws attempted in a game that had 8 ties, 11 lead changes. It was a doozy. It was a doozy. In our final game, just to highlight real quickly, I don't have the clip, and I should have the stats here in just a second before we take our final timeout and give you our final 4 picks and put the ribbon, the finishing touches on this episode of 757 Sports Talk, brought to you by CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Here it is. Abingdon and Skyline. You and I were on call with this one with Mark Fout over in Class 3 girls. Ansley Trevette. What can you say about her, Ed? 25 points, 15 rebounds. She's headed to NC State to play her college hoops in the ACC. She's a darn good one and did a lot of things well in this game for Abingdon. It was one of the marquee performers of this state tournament without any question whatsoever. There she is. She was a force.
Young lady did a lot. Not just a score, rebound, decent passer, high post passer, can put the ball on the floor a little bit. I think she can have a pretty good career at NC State. And by the way, interesting side note with her, state championship volleyball, state championship track, state championship basketball. So you want a state title, put her on your team. She can get some stuff done. And she carried that team. She really did. Not that the rest were horrible, but some people didn't have the game. And you know, they just kind of took Skyline out of it. And when we looked in that fourth quarter, Skyline just wore down and they did not score. At the time, we didn't really notice it, but I remember thinking, man, they haven't scored in a bit. They didn't score at all. And then once again, I think of all the teams that were there, I think that long court, extra 10 feet, affected Skyline more than any other team. And you can see by end result of this game.
Yeah, good effort. In defeat for Skyline from Camilla Diamond, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 7 steals. She was closing on a triple-double, but just didn't get enough help. It was similar to Derek Batiste Lugo for Central Woodstock on the boys side in Class 2. Just didn't get enough help. Or even Caitlin Witt at Union. She had really good numbers, not her A game, more of a B minus game for her lofty standards, but just didn't get enough help. Sometimes you have that standout player. If you don't get those contributions from players 2 through 7, you could be in trouble there, and that was kind of the case there. But Trevette got enough from those supporting pieces. Elizabeth Nichols was given the hustle. Maddie Fields, 13 boards, 8 assists from Lauren Baker, 8 rebounds too. So it wasn't just Trevette, but she was the game changer without a doubt. All right, that closes up the state tournament. Any final thoughts that the high school basketball season is essentially over? There's going to be that Mario Mullen All-Star game coming up. I know the B-Cavs got an All-Star game. We mentioned Darnell Dozier's team in the throne. Any final thoughts for you, Ed, on the season?
I hate to see it all end because, it's my thing. I'm going to concentrate on college basketball now for the next month. And then when that's over, I'm really screwed. Thank God for baseball so I can watch my Yankees try to get in the World Series against the Dodgers. But you know what? I'll say it. I don't want to cause a lot of story. I kind of hope that I would kind of wish list, because there's no talk about it. I wish the boys had their own tournament. The girls had their own tournament succeeding weekends. And I would also like to see the entire state tournament, quarter, semi, final on a college court, whether it be the same or not. I know there's a whole lot that goes to it, money, venue available, all kind of stuff. I understand all that. But I would like to see it be more of an event than what it is. To me, and VHSL, don't get mad, it seems like a rushed event. Just get them in, get them out. Well, it's a long weekend, 3 days, and then let's get out of here. I just feel it could be celebrated more like the NCAA Final Four. How they do that tournament at all these different arenas and whatever as they march towards it. Playing this opening state round game on a high school court in the area of the team that's higher seeded, I don't care for it. And I think all regional finals should be, because both those teams are in the state tournament, should be at a bigger venue too. So that's just my 28 cents.
Make sure you go 28 cents. Okay. Make sure you go to ESPN.com when you play the free tournament challenge and join our group, CoVA Sports TV 757 Sports Talk. Because guess what you're going to win if you get everything right. ESPN's going to give you $1 million. But we have decided that you get Ed Young's car if you get every game right. How about that?
I always thought you were going to give him an all-expense weekend of with you for fooling the pool. And that would have been a scary price. Thank God it wasn't.
No, because the winner's going to win $1 million from ESPN.com. We're going to give them your car, which is a collector's item. That person will have $1 million to buy you a new car and take me on a vacation to go swim in a pool because they finished first in our bracket group. So that's how this will work when you join our CoVA Sports TV.
In the words of one of our greatest friends, foolishness has been come out of the mouth of Matt Hatfield once again. Total foolishness. And I could see our friend saying this and with his shaking his head like, this can't be real. And I'll be like, Jonathan, I agree with you. I feel your pain. You know mine.
Mr. Watford would never refer to me and anything I say as foolishness. He would only be talking about you. And I'm sure Mr. Watford will see this later and send a message or comment on the show and concur with me and disagree with you. So we'll see.
Jonathan and I go way back like car seats. He would
way back like car seats.
Yeah, he wouldn't say it out loud because that's the kind of guy he is. But he would tell me in confidence, "Hey, Coach, you're right. I didn't want to say anything to hurt Matt's feelings, but there's something wrong with him. He's too kind of foolish." Jonathan, you're right. I mean, what can I do? We got to let him on. Can't get rid of him. Got to keep him. So we just do our best with him. So tell the people out there once again, how do they get to this so I can remember? How do we get to this?
Well, that's true. Ed does go way back with people like car seats. All you have to do is log on to ESPN.com. People can find that website. Sign up for the free ESPN Tournament Challenge. You'll see this group as we zoom in on it. CoVA Sports TV 757 Sports Talk. We'll have a link up on my Facebook page. We'll put it out on the 757 Sports Talk Twitter or X feed, and we'll have it up there. You just join it. Last year we had a group. I forgot who won it, but I think we gave them a prize. I'm pretty sure we did.
Well, they're going to put down their name They can make up any kind of name, but you're going to have to know their real name in terms of who gets the prize.
They'll have to comment on the show. And actually, what we might do is we might get Chuck and Nick and the gang from CoVA Sports TV to put a collection plate and see if someone gets a perfect bracket. Which, by the way, the odds of a perfect bracket are 0.0001%.
Yeah,
maybe they'll buy you a car, and then you can give that person your car. How's that? That's a good trade for you, isn't it?
You must have fell down and bumped your head again, because now we're talking about getting rid of my car. You're being frivolous with my car, so that's not going to happen.
Wait. I just said they can get you a car.
They're going to get rid of your truck. You have your own truck, and you don't use it a whole lot. There you go.
I'll tell you what. If somebody gets a perfect bracket, I will give my truck. Yes, absolutely. That is my word. But
now,
I don't
say something about Matt's truck.
Uh-oh.
You have to put it in neutral. You have to hold the door with one hand and the steering wheel with the other. Move your foot like Fred Flintstone in the cartoon as the truck gets moving. Jump in it, watch you don't fall down. Put it in drive, okay? And pump the brake twice, and then smack the gas pedal hard. And it'll catch. It's not a standard. It is automatic. And then you'll be able to get out on the road. I've drove that thing a couple of times.
Yeah,
now,
to Richmond, two and back.
Every light on the dashboard will come up. Every light. Brake light, oil light, engine light. And you'll sit there praying like something's going to blow up, something's going to happen. And it didn't. I got to Richmond and back. And we had a load of furniture, I think, in the back, delivering it late at night. What an episode that was.
Yeah.
Remember the place we went to? We said, we're never going to come out here alive. But we did.
You should thank the late Sam Hatfield for that being at your disposal, as well as some other people.
True.
But anyway.
Very true.
All right. When we come back, we will put the finishing touches on this particular episode of 757 Sports Talk, because coming up, we make our final 4 picks. Now, I've done part of my bracket, and I did a couple squiggly lines and scratch outs, but Ed has got his picks. I haven't quite got mine yet. I'm a little conflicted on one region. So, audience out there, if you got some advice, let me know. We want to hear from you. And as always, you can chime in and let us know who's going to have the upset. What upsets do you see in the bracket? You're watching with us on CoVA Sports TV, where Ed Young goes way back like a car seat and shakes his head from time to time. Stay tuned.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis. But if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams-Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to CoVA Sports TV, wherever you are. We thank you for tuning in on this particular episode, a Sunday night special of the program. All right, Ed, it is now time as we get ready to bid adieu to our audience for our Final Four predictions. But we'll go region through region to start here as far as we look at it here. Put it up on the screen. Here's the East region. You see Duke is the number 1 seed at top, Ohio State, TCU. This region is loaded with Hall of Fame level coaches. When you talk about Bill Self at Kansas and Tom Izzo at Michigan State, the 3 seed, and soon to be Hall of Famer, and Danny Hurley, your idol, your mentor, your BFF, Rick Pitino, the Big East Tournament regular season champions. Of course, my sleeper, USF. Mick the Trick. UCLA, they're a sneaky pick if they got a healthy Tyler Bilodeau, Donovan Dent. But coming out of this region, I like St. John's. You like the Dukies with some health concerns about Patrick Ngumba, Caleb Foster? I do have Cam Boozer. Or are you taking somebody else?
I'm going Duke. I'm making it easy. I'm going to go Duke. Watch out. Watch out. You know, UConn is in there. You didn't mention him. You watch out, UConn. Louisville was an early pick for me for Final Four. St. John's has got up. Remember last year I had St. John's Final Four. Didn't quite get there.
Right.
And UCLA is another team. I know we laughed about them a little bit. Watch out for UCLA. The only problem is they got UConn in the next round. And no, Furman is not beating UConn.
I didn't say that. Why are you? Listen, I'm
saying people are saying, they'll say, well, you got UConn going all the way. Furman's not beating.
I'm glad you said that because when Furman pulls the shocker, we will play that to the end of time, and it'll be a real for us.
If Furman beats UConn, go ahead and finish.
You go ahead and say what if from NBC.
See, I can't sell my car because you're already going to give that away as a prize.
That's
right. I'll have to move out of my house. How about that?
Okay.
I thought that would be
listen, UConn's a darn good team, but Daniel Hurley's team not defending quite as well. They've had some live ball turnovers. Tyrus Reed gets in foul trouble. That can be problematic. And they really rely on the outside shooting of Alex Caravan, solo ball, and Mr. Mullins to hit the outside shots. If they aren't happening, tricky. Let's go to the bracket that doesn't have as many Hall of Fame coaches. The South, Gators defending champs, Todd Golden's team with the awesome front court, Clemson, Iowa, Vandy McNeese, Nebraska trying to get his first tournament win, Carolina without Wilson, VCU can be an issue there. Illinois, Penn. Illinois got the European talent, St. Mary's A&M, Houston, Idaho. I hate to do it, Ed, but I'm going to go with Kelvin, not Calvin, it's Kelvin Sampson and the Houston Cougars. They've got experience. They've got some talented freshmen, too. Known for rugged defense, a little bit better on offense. I hate to do it, but I like their draw. I'm going to go with Houston. I know which is a stunner to you to get to the Final Four.
Yeah, I didn't think you would ever pick Houston. I flipped the coin between Houston and Florida, and unlike you, I got tails, so I went with Florida.
It could be a rematch in the Elite Eight, by the way, from last year's national championship. How about that?
Can VCU beat North Carolina?
Yes, they can. I'm calling it.
Will they beat North Carolina?
Let's go to the Arizona bracket, which is the West. I say watch out for Utah State. They're Jekyll and Hyde, but they have enough offense to give Zona problems should they get by Villanova. Ed says no to Wisconsin losing a High Point. Arkansas, Hawaii, nation's leading scorer, and AJ DeBonson, BYU. The Zags, Mark Few's team, led by Graham Ike. Miami, Jay Lucas has done an awesome job, but they got to win in St. Louis over Missouri. No easy task there. And Purdue, the Big Ten tournament champs. I'm not a big Matt Painter fan. I love his first name. Not much else. He does have Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer and Trey Kaufman-Wren. What do you think with this bracket? Are you going to go with more chalk and another one seed? You probably are, aren't you?
I think Arizona has the easiest of the number ones. They'll go all the way through.
I'm going to go with John Calipari, your other five-star friend, an Italian, to get to the Final Four. He's got Darius Acuff and a lot of weaponry, Billy Richmond, DJ Wagner, Trevon Brazil. I got the Razorbacks to get to the Final Four. And in the Michigan bracket, which is the Midwest, you had the Wolverines. Yeah, they are down LJ Case and their backup at point guard to Elliot Cadeau. Still have Yaxel Lindenborg, a lot of size, Andy Mara, Rez Johnson, can shoot it up with Namari Burnett. I still like their team a lot. Georgia, St. Louis, Texas Tech, Akron. Watch out for the Zips, as we said. Alabama, the nation's highest scoring team. Hofstra, led by Speedy Claxton and Cruz Davis, who led the CAA in scoring. Tennessee, I like that matchup potentially with Virginia if they win that game with the 11 play-in. Wright State, Kentucky, Santa Clara, Iowa State. What do you have here? You have Kentucky, you got Virginia, you got Iowa State. Who do you have going to the Final Four? Is it another number one seed?
This one I had to think hard. My eyes took me to Iowa State. I always like Alabama, but they don't defend. UVA is going to win a couple games in this tournament and could win that region, but give me Michigan.
So you take 4 1 seeds, the boring, chalky Ed Young. That's what he is, folks. He's boring. He's chalky, has 4 1 seeds, and he's calling for the Zona Cats to beat the defending champs. A lot like the high school, sort of like a green run here. You won the championship last year, you get back, but you lose this time. He's got Arizona to do it for the first time since Lute Olson and Miles Simon led the way in the late 90s, huh?
And probably what will happen is I'll get one of those teams not in the Final Four, and one of the other ones will. That's almost always happens to me when I pick of this nature. But I'm going chalk. Now, I'm going to sit down later and go a little bit more analyze and look at my cheat sheets to see who beats what and what strength, and because it's all about matchups. Mm-hmm. And, who's a surprise teams, who could be a surprise team, because you got to get hot for 6 games. And then it is, in the coaching vernaculars, who can win Thursday, one day off, and then play Saturday and to win again. Those kind of situations are going to come up. So, that's where that coaching really comes into play in that. So, But right now, I'll go. I know it ain't going to happen because it happened last year. So going twice. When's the last time 2 years in a row all 4 1s got? I don't think it's ever happened.
Well, last year.
No, I mean 2 years in a row.
No, it's never happened because it hasn't happened 2 years in a row. So you're calling for history here. I'm going to take
for history.
Yeah, well, good coaches. I mean, I like Dusty May and Patino and Calipari and Kelvin Sampson. I'm not a big fan of, but you heard my Final Four, and I don't have 4 1 seeds. I have just 1 1 seed. I got a 1, a 5, a 4, and a 2. And here's what I'm sticking with. My preseason pick, Michigan, to win it all and to beat Patino. Houston and Arkansas to be runner-ups in the semifinals there. That's my bracket. I'll do about 24 more brackets all across the web to try to win me some money. That's how I roll. And as you laugh over there, that's how I roll. What?
And he'll be cussing and yelling, screaming, throwing papers all over the place.
I don't do
out
that.
His 4th TV of the year. I wish I had a camera to see it all.
No, I don't do that. I'm not like you.
I saw you.
No, don't lie to the audience.
In the car going to the Siegel Center,
no.
He tried to send a message. And it said, you can send it for one time view only. He starts yelling at the phone. I don't want to send it one time. The phone never answered back. He kept saying, you can send it one view only. Well, if you would have seen it, you would have never believed it. He's screaming at the top of his lungs. I'm looking around, people looking at
scream at the top of my lungs. I use my inside voice. Why do you lie to the audience out there?
Oh, my God. Come on, man. You're going to go to hell if you're lying to that. I saw it and heard it. The windows were up, and the people 3 cars in front of us at the light stopped and looked out behind the window like, hey, man, you all right back there? I go, it's all right, nut job having a case. We're okay.
You love telling fairy tales to our audience. I don't know why.
Then he lets me. I go to park the car. He goes, I'll wait for you because we're going to do a little quick video as we go to Siegel Center. I get out of the car. He's nowhere to be found. He's running into the Siegel Center. Leaves me walking in the rain.
Now, that's true. That is a true story because Coach Young likes to sleep past the time he's supposed to wake up. He sets an alarm, doesn't hear it, or he sets the alarm too late. That's a true story. That's a true story. But, sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands. You got to, you can't be late. You cannot be late when you're supposed to be somewhere at a certain time. Remember, Keandre Lambert-Smith told us, Uncle Cam Chancellor, he'll leave you. He'll leave you tail going to movies at 6 o'clock. You show up at 6:01. Sometimes Coach is, not as punctual as he needs to be. And you gotta send a message, ladies and gents. You got to send a message and show them who's boss, who's in charge.
And I can't get sleep because at 3 o'clock in the morning, I thought I was having a dream about somebody singing about the beagle found the eagle and heartache was nothing but buttache. My eyes wake up and this nut job is over on the desk, supposedly doing his work for the games, and he's the one singing the song.
But no,
at 3 a.m. And I'm like,
I'm just waiting for our guests that we're going to have on. We're going to get some college basketball guests, I'm sure, on like Mike DeCourcy or Brad Wachtel or Chuck Culpepper or
Steve Lapis
or Tim Brando or David Teal. And we can tell which one of them you dreamed about in the middle of the night. Say something funny.
It wasn't a dream about. He just entered my dream out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And interrupted my conversation with Serena Williams.
It wasn't Serena Williams, I don't think.
Well, that's the name I'm going to use right now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's going to do it for this particular episode of 757 Sports Talk. We thank all of you for tuning in and interacting with us and watching. And again, we'll be back on our normal time Saturday. If Ed doesn't sleep past the alarm, that'll be 10 a.m.
Wait a minute. I haven't told you yet. Saturday, I'll be doing it from parts unknown.
Okay, that's fine. As you do the hands.
Yes.
But 10 to noon.
As you say, I got to go honky-tonky Saturday.
You do. Parts unknown, ladies and germs. But that's quite all right. We have no problem with that. It'll be recapping the round of 64 games on the show. We still may do something in the middle of the week. You never know who we might pop on to break down some of the NCAA tournament games. And again, make sure you check out our ESPN Tournament Challenge group. We'll put it up there on the screen for you one more time, those that watch this replay, because they're not joining us here at 11 o'clock, past 11 o'clock Eastern on a Sunday night. It's CoVA Sports TV 757 Sports Talk. There's probably it's a group access public, ESPN Tournament Challenge. Probably a good bet that Ed won't be able to find it, because last year he had 2 different brackets in there and it was all screwed up.
Yeah, all screwed up.
But you can put, I think, 2 entries in this. I know you can get at least 1 entry. So make sure you label it and you know it's yours. If you do have a username, write it down to see what yours is. But that's going to do it for 757 Sports Talk. Go ahead before we sign off.
Before we sign off, Caduceus, I think, are going out to the USA.
Caduceus?
Caduceus. Did they not beat Dominican Republic?
Who is Caduceus?
Caduceus for the USA. They beat Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Going to take on Japan for WBC title, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And this is a more serious note. Somebody told me we could have some really bad weather tomorrow, people. Be careful. Wherever you be careful. It could be some high winds, a lot of rain, tornadoes. So let's hope that
we just did a tornado drill at the school, by the way. So I'm
prepped. Yeah. It was National Tornado Day last week, and I'm glad they did it because they're calling for it. We might be smack dab in the middle of weather that will cause it. So be careful. Be careful. They already canceled school where I'm at, so be careful.
Well, I also want to send our condolences, our thoughts and prayers to everybody at Old Dominion with the tragedy that happened on Thursday. We were not there for that, or in town. We were at VCU, but our heart, goes out to everyone that's been shook up over there at Old Dominion. It's a place I work out doing the women's basketball broadcasting. So heavy hearts with what's going on there. But that's going to do it for this episode of 757 Sports Talk. And if those of you missed it on social media because Ed was parking the car, here it is as we say goodbye to all of you. Ladies and gents, Ed Young is parking the car somewhere in the garage here by the Siegel Center. So you just get me for this edition. It's State Championship Saturday, 2026 edition. Oh my goodness, the town is still buzzing about that double overtime game with Luray and Fort Chiz. Luray won it, first time in 50 years. Owen Jackson, Action Jackson with a record 53 points. And we got 4 more games today. 3 involving 757 teams. And Manor girls, they're back in it, taking on Salem, who knocked them out last year in Class 4 girls. Class 4 boys, Hampton Grabbers, 26-game winning streak for Eric Brown's crew, taking on Zach Harrell's Luke's Judges from John Hanley, can take their first ever state title. And then we got Abingdon Skyline girls in Class 3. Someone gets their first championship and to close out the night. Is it their time now? We'll find out. Petersburg Crimson Wave haven't done it since Moses Malone, while Derek Yogi Edwards' Lake Taylor Titans try to pull the upset. Tune in. NFHS Network, we have you covered all day long from VCU.